Have your sports curiosity cured.
Norris mishandles it at the blue line, got it across. Owen Power catches up with it, but can't get a shot away. And as he rims it around the boards, Thompson chases after it, he loses the puck. Troy Terry is in. Score! Overtime, game winner, Troy Terry.
A veteran of the sports reporting game for over 25 years.
A lot of time now, Bill Self and his staff making sure they know no fouls.
This is going to be Darling. He's got to go. Darling puts it up. Oh! St. John's is going to the Sweet 16.
Breaking down Edmonton's favorite teams.
Roslovic in the vicinity, fiercely fought. Ball over to left skin. It gets much needed gift. Second goal.
This is Sports 1440 and the Kevin Karius Show.
All right, here we go for Saul 630, Monday, March the 23rd. A new week's upon us, and some optimism in some areas of sport, and maybe a little negativity in some areas of sport and life and everything like that. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440, presented by Sports Select on your AM radio dial on your morning drive into work or wherever you're heading out on a Monday morning. So glad you could spend some time with us here on Sports 1440 AM radio. You can also watch us on YouTube. You know that at Sports 1440 AM. Drop us a like, a subscription. We're also on X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch. As always, we're streaming on iHeartRadio, the TuneIn app, even on sports1440.ca. And if you miss any part of any show, well, you can find it by searching where all the podcasts hang out on Apple, Spotify, Google, even Amazon. Please subscribe. It's free. Select the auto download. You'll never miss a second of any show. So glad you're with us here on a Monday morning. Before we get rolling here, just wanted to mention such a tragic incident with what happened in Minnesota with a reporter that's been on this show many times. She was on this show. She was on Gregor's show, Low Tide show, Jesse Pierce, who covered the Minnesota Wild. Just a terrible incident on the weekend where Jessie and her 3 children died in a house fire in Minnesota. It's almost incomprehensible. Well, it is. And you never take anything for granted in life and things like that. But this one really just hit so many people in the media business, obviously, especially in Minnesota. As I mentioned, she come on our morning show a handful of times, and she took part in radio programs and podcasts across North America, and loved the game of hockey and loved her family, obviously. And this is just this really has been a real gut punch to a lot of people across the hockey world. And I have to give if you haven't read Michael Russo's column or article in the Athletic, give it a spin, give it a whirl. He obviously worked side by side with Jesse Pierce for many, many years. But this has just been just a tragic situation. And she was just 37 years old. Her 3 kids were 8, 6, and 4. Hayden, Caden, and Avery. And it again, like reading Michael's article about the Wild playing and having to, Bill Guerin, I guess, talking to all the media people in the press box, in between periods and making sure everyone was okay. Well, it's going to take a long time for everyone to be okay. Everyone knows that. But, she was also in the Bar Down Beauties podcast, but just, every time she came on the show, she was just a breath of fresh air and, a rainbow and always positive and things like that. So I just wanted to kind of mention that off the top. And, when the news started to come out yesterday, it was just very, very heartbreaking for sure. So, hey, let's welcome Eddie Steele, our co-host. Sorry to kind of do a little bit of a kind
It's
of
what's right, KK.
kind of crappy segue like that,
No,
Eddie.
man,
But
it's what's right.
I mean, you got kids and family and everything like that, and I mean,
It gives me
It's,
the absolute shivers when you're talking about it because, man, I'm 37, her age, with an 8-year-old, with a 6-year-old.
you know,
It's tragic. There's no other words to describe it. And thinking of the husband, the dad as well, who lost his world, right? Everything in his entire world just gone.
you think how how are you going to go on? That's I wouldn't even know.
I heard he was away on a business
Yeah,
trip.
he's
So
away,
like, imagine that your entire world
gone.
as a husband and a dad. I couldn't fathom it. Couldn't fathom it, man.
Well, just like that. So when it started to come out yesterday, and you saw some posts and things like that.
Yeah, nastiness.
Just and then as Michael Russo was saying in his article, just the fact of so many people reaching out.
Yeah.
So many people reaching out. And again, we were lucky to get her on the show here a handful of times.
I feel like I just heard her on a program recently too.
Yeah, maybe she was on
someone else's,
Yeah.
a Low Tide or Grass somewhere.
Yeah.
But
So,
you mentioned positivity. She always had that energy.
well, the things like if you look at some of the pictures, she would bring her kids to the rink, and Michael Granlund would be there with, and took a liking to one of the children, and just a tough way to start the weekend and into the Monday for sure. So we'll kind of remember Jessie, I guess, and she would say, "Come on, get the show going." That's what she would say probably. So anyway, the Oilers had a day off yesterday following the loss to Tampa Bay on Saturday night. That's so losses back to back to the Florida teams Thursday, and then Saturday's effort was much, much better. I shouldn't say effort, because the effort is there for the most part with every player, every team. It's the type of effort. It's how you use it, how smart you play, and things like that. But I got to watch the game. I just got back from Saskatoon, so I watched the game on TV. Didn't go down to the rink. So to me, the game is all about a minute of up or down. I mean, you got a 5-on-3 power play for $1.15. You don't score. They had chances.
They did.
Evan Bouchard, the best, bringing it off the crossbar. And then you make some dumb mistakes and dumb plays. And next thing you know, it's in your net with a shorthanded goal by Nikita Kucherov, who was amazing. And
The killer.
he is.
That moment right there, that's a killing moment.
2 to 3-1.
Yeah.
And the game's over.
Especially with the 5-3 that you had. And like, there was chances, but the power play has been slightly disappointing as of late.
Again, that shot by Bouchard tucks under the bar. Everyone's going, okay, it's 2-2. You still got time. The 5-on-4, I believe. So
You can make some
you
hay
can still
still.
go another power play. But that was a real killer. And then they didn't. They weren't able to get back to 3-2 on the luckiest goal in the history of hockey, probably. Josh Szymanski. Congrats to Josh Szymanski getting his first NHL goal. But that was a situation where the game was there still for them, but they were not able to grasp it at the end. So,
Hitting fast forward on this game, can I pose the question to you? Do you think the biggest thing coming out of this game was Connor's comments post game?
okay, well, we can go there too. So to me, I think it's totally blown out of proportion. People hear what they want to hear, and then a bunch of lemmings follow. You could post something, and that's where social media has come.
Yes.
So I didn't think it was a big deal. He's answering a question to what, and giving, and the other thing too, like he's gotten to know John Cooper probably better since the Olympics.
For sure,
Not
spending
probably,
that
yes.
time.
So I think that the comments, I'm not saying like people hear what they want to hear, and a couple people post some stuff, and then the lemmings follow, and then it turns into an absolute,
Catches
storm.
fire.
Like if you look at like, and then everyone piles on. So watching TSN this morning, and again, how many times do we talk about this, Eddie? They have their own problems out there. Worry about your own team out there, because you might call yourself the national network. You're not. You're the Toronto Sports Network.
Mm.
You cover the Leafs, and that's it. Don't worry about things out here that you don't know what's going on. So don't have a banner headline. Are the Oilers questioning their own system? A banner's the thing on the bottom.
Of course.
So again,
Stirring the pot because they want to see that. They want that drama from the other clubs.
They just want to throw some roses on everyone's grave. Worry about your own.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
How they doing?
And I'll see like people now are texting, and it is a big deal. You don't just praise the other coach by Big Daddy. Okay. You know, this is good.
That was what you said, though, actually is where my mind went to as well. He spent some time with Cooper, and
sure,
he probably realized, oh, man, they've burned through some coaches, so they've seen different styles of coaching here in Edmonton, but really successful high-level coaching, which John Cooper is known for.
Yeah,
he got a taste of that.
When Jay Woodcroft was fired, the Oilers players were pissed off about the coaching change.
So mad they went on that 16-game winning streak.
You know, 7-11 in Edmonton. Hey, let's bring in the Duke of Delburne. Barely alive after a big weekend.
Yeah, that's why he's so quiet this morning.
Just taking care of my own business over here, Eddie. That's all.
The all-night curling event in Delburne.
Still shaking it off, huh? The cobwebs.
Oh yeah.
Lost in the championship semifinal.
Ooh.
We had a tough draw. Played at 8:30 Friday night, 4 a.m., 1 o'clock p.m., and then the final would have went at 4, which we obviously came up just shy of. But a good effort by our team. What we did win was best dressed, best costumes for the event. Shout out Rebecca for putting most of that together.
Which was?
So the theme was Olympics, naturally, given the calendar year we're in. And we were a rowing team. So we just had, we made some bibs, some visors with maple leafs on them. We built some paddles for the end of our brooms. And then I think the best part of it was our skip was the coxswain. So we had the megaphone at the front of our pretend boat, whatever you would officially call it. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. A couple teams from Edmonton came down that I play hockey with to kind of know adjacently and stuff like that. They had a good time. I got home, much like you, Kevin, pretty much right on time for the Oilers game on Saturday night after being awake for, well, I think by the time it was all said and done, by the time I went to bed after the Oilers game, it would have been 30-some straight hours. I did not sleep at all at any point from Friday night through Saturday. So that made the drive home a little bit on the rougher side, but you endured a couple snowstorms at different spots on the highway, but made it safe and sound. So that was a great weekend, a lot of fun. And then Tropics played last night too, first playoff game, and half our team was hungover between the all-nighter and other events. You know, it's the weekend, and it showed. We lost. We did not deserve to win. So they'll look to bounce back without me on Saturday and try and see if we can extend the playoff push. But a really good weekend overall. Just wanted to add, Kevin, obviously talking about Jessie and her really unfortunate passing. So accommodating and gracious with their time with us and other programs on this station and beyond. So did want to just add in my condolences as well. We're talking with her personally, booking her for the show and stuff. Such a fun personality. Just like you said, loved hockey at all levels, whether it's high school Minnesota stuff. Talked about going up to Manitoba to fish and things like that all the time. So just a great person and an excellent reporter, broadcaster as well. It's a real shame on so many levels. And wishing the best to friends, family, colleagues, and stuff down in Minnesota.
And thanks for bringing up that fishing, because we talked about that for about 5 minutes one day, and it just rang a bell when Duke mentioned that, because she had posted catching I think it was a nice walleye. I can't remember what lake it was in, and I think it might have been in Manitoba or in maybe northern Minnesota. But now that's ringing a bell too, Duke. But because we did talk about, I love fishing. She was, and I think they were talking about the cabin that they had, stuff like that. So,
man, oh man.
Coming up on the big program, and text 833-401-1440. They're flying in now, obviously. You can imagine people.
Speaking of big program,
what's that?
We're talking Mr. Big Number 1 in the NCAA tournament right now.
Who is?
You is.
Oh, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
What are you talking
in
about?
The pool?
No, am I?
KK's yellow Crocs. Is that not you?
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought that was you. Who is that, Duke? Oh, I came in thinking for sure
it's not
that's
him.
you.
No, it's not me. No.
Someone's name is KK's Yellow Crocs.
Yes. Okay, I saw it too. I thought it was.
Oh, I thought for sure that was you.
That's Johnny T. Johnny T and Matt are currently tied at the top.
Ah, got me.
I see Declan and Eddie are still kicking around in the top 10. Connor right there as well. Kevin one more spot behind.
Okay.
I can tell you that I did get a text from Paul Sir last night.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Because his Iowa teams are both still in it.
Oh, yes.
After the big upset.
Not Northern Iowa, who I took to cover the points
on
Friday, in which they did not. But that's the least of my problems. My bracket's obviously dead.
Yeah.
Gators losing in very dramatic fashion. But it's funny. I'd actually had a very good first 3 days of the tournament, just gambling wise. I was making out very well. And then yesterday, it all came crashing down. I don't think I won a single bet on yesterday's games. Oh, well.
Well, that's okay, Duke. You'll bounce back. You'll bounce back. You'll be okay. Coming up on the big program today, as usual, our Monday morning leadoff man, Alan Mitchell. We'll check in at 7:20-ish, right after the break. Mark Spector, he's at the airport, so he's on his way to Utah. Well, I don't know if Spec has been to Utah before. I'm sure he's probably trying to get some skiing in as well, Eddie. Stefan Rosner from the Hockey News at 9:20. Eric Smith, Toronto Raptors, they lose last night to the Suns, 120-98. And then Scott Maxwell from the Daily Faceoff will check in at 10:20. Lots to talk about with the Oil Kings World Curling Championship. The Valspar, Matt Fitzpatrick's playing really well heading into the Masters here in about a month or so, but tons to break down on a Monday morning. When we come back, Alan Mitchell, you hear him daily from 12 to 2 right here in Sports 1440. The Lowdown with Low Tide. It's a Kevin Carey show with Eddie Steele, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio, presented by Sports Select. We're also streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Getting in on the sports action you want is as easy as playing at sportselect.com. Simply make your picks online, generate your QR code, and lock in your bet at your local Lotto Spot retailer. Then sit back, watch the game, grip your chair, and high-five anyone nearby. Every bet is 100% legal with the chance of winning cash in hand. Sports Select. When you're ready to play, bet on the original. Must be 18 plus to play. Play responsibly.
With the lead up to the playoffs underway, players are definitely stepping up their game.
And the fans are doing the same. Simple snacks like chips and dip may work at the front half of the season, but now more and more fans are rocking the Wilhauk beef jerky for game time get-togethers.
Just make sure you bring enough for everyone if you want to be invited back for the playoffs.
Make your next hockey game day a Will Hockey game day with Wilhauk beef jerky, only available in Leduc. Get yours today because you don't win games with salad.
At Fountain Tire, the savings come in threes. Up to 25% off select tires, a mail-in rebate of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires, and $50 off a $150 service. We're basically the BLT of savings. Until April 25th. Restrictions apply. Book today.
This is Andrew Walker, host of the postgame show on Sports 1440. After every hockey game this season, tune in and chime in as we talk about the game. It's all sponsored by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Don't get left in the cold. Visit legacyheating.ca.
Fast track your financial goals with a special rate term deposit from Vision Credit Union. For a limited time, take advantage of a great rate on 1, 3, or 5-year terms. Plus, as a Vision Credit Union member, you can earn up to 25% more on your interest through profit shares. For details, contact your branch today or visit visioncu.ca. That's visioncu.ca.
Heard of Uline? You know, the have-it-all in-stock, ready-to-deliver shipping and industrial supply specialists. The company that does things for you that are unheard of, like keeping 41,000 items in stock in our own warehouses. With customer service reps on the line to get you what you need when you need it 24/7, 365 every time. Maybe you heard it here first. Want to hear more? Visit uline.ca. ULINE, your shipping and industrial supply specialists.
Have your sports curiosity cured with the Kevin Karius Show. This is Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program. 7:20 in Edmonton. So glad you're with us here on a Monday morning, and time now for the headliner of the day, brought to you by Mr. Reuter Plumbing. The plumber to call when the toilet mysteriously breaks after your jalapeno pepper popper fueled game night. With the fellas, that's mrreuter.ca. As we welcome in Alan Mitchell. You hear him daily from 12 to 2. The Lowdown with Low Tide. Good morning, Tide. Have you ever been the headliner of the day before?
I never have, even in my own life, I have not. So this is a big moment for me. I will say that.
So do you feel like you're up to the challenge, up to the test?
Well, I've been wearing brown shoes and have no money in my pockets my whole life. So I'm hoping this turns it all around.
Not Chi-Chi. That was, I think it was Lee Trevino, was it not? Pressure's making a putt for $5 when you don't have $5 in your pocket.
Yeah, one of the all-time wonderful legends of golf. He was truly hilarious.
Oh, man, I got to do a one-on-one with him in 1997. Nice. I'll tell you that story because it's so long-winded. We'd have no time to talk anything else here. But it's a wonderful story. Next time at the bar.
Wait a minute. You have a long-winded story?
Yeah. This one's even longer, though, Tide.
Okay, all right. Yeah. But just the one.
Just the one. You'll enjoy it because it's about baseball, too.
Oh, right on.
There you go. Well, Tide, what'd you make of the weekend? The Oilers' loss, some comments after, things like that?
Well, I was interested, number one, just to see how they played. They played so poorly against Florida, a team that has robbed them of everything they ever wanted. And I thought that they'd be more involved and more precise. And then I think we got, my own opinion is that we got a little better effort, but the result was the same. They're not two things. Number one, I do think that Tampa Bay has reset here, and we have to acknowledge that they're a terrific team. And the East is stronger than the Pacific by some margin. So I think Tampa's a better team. But what I was hoping for was better entries and exits, more precision, less, being exposed by letting a forward get behind you. And that's all I saw against Tampa Bay. But I know the coaches aren't coaching the team to play that way. And I do think that there's an issue here. There's a disconnect. I don't know what it is. The coaching staff inserted Paul Coffey into it in the middle of the season. Maybe there's different, they're trying to adjust. I don't know, but they look discombobulated, and they look like a team that's trying to find the exit on the 25-26 season. I know that's not true, but the results are that they're playing out the string. They have a chance for the playoffs, but I don't know how anybody can look at the two efforts they had against the Florida teams and say, oh no, they're a lock. They are playing so poorly that this team could slide right out of the playoffs, and I don't think anybody would be surprised.
Eddie?
So I believe they have a 5-point lead in the standings. They're sitting in third, correct? No, they're 5 points behind the Ducks. Is that what it is, KK?
Well, you're talking to get to from
the Oilers in the Pacific.
Okay, right now the Ducks are at 82, the Oilers are at 77.
That's right. So the Ducks are 5 points ahead.
The bigger thing is they're 4 ahead of LA.
That's
and the Kings are outside, but the Kings have a game in hand.
So it's not must-win territory yet, Low Tide, but it is critical mass, is it not?
Well, it is, and also, the Pacific Division has hornswoggled themselves into maybe not getting either of the wild card spots. So you've got Utah and Nashville right now. LA's below that, and so the issue that I have with this team is that they come out playing on the road trip and they're just like fantastic. Well, then okay, now they've reset, but the evidence shows that right now the Oilers are playing so poorly, and I don't see any they had a pretty good thing going, and then they changed the lines for the Florida game, and ever since they changed the lines, it just feels like there's There's a really true disconnect here, and I don't have any answer for it. I don't know what's going on. I know that there's a lot of pride in that room, so it's not like they've given up or anything. But they're 5-4-1 in their last 10, which is fine. But the Los Angeles Kings are 4-3-3. So as you know, it's hard to gain any ground. The Oilers have lost 2 in a row. They could still, I mean, as crazy as it sounds, they could still win the division. But more concerning than the standings is the way they are playing. They, in the game Saturday night, Connor McDavid gets the puck in the neutral zone, and he is absolute money in gaining the zone on the power play. It is a lock. Well, a young defenseman decided that wasn't a lock, and he steps up. He separates McDavid from the puck. McDavid falls. Moser gets the puck, and there's still no harm. I mean, it's one sortie into the zone by McDavid that didn't, settle. It's fine, except that Moser sends an alley-oop pass, and it finds the last damn hockey player on planet Earth you want to have a breakaway. He's hotter than a firecracker, and Kucherov goes in and scores a shorthanded goal. Kucherov is like, he is absolutely the guy who's going to sit and, try to get a breakaway pass. But there's got to be more awareness. The Oilers are just unbelievably unaware. McDavid had a play in the previous game where they're coming down the ice. They got a really good opportunity. The puck is shot. It clips off something and goes all the way around, and then it's a 2-on-1 the other way, and Florida scores. This is. I know the coaching staff isn't coaching it. I know the players don't want to do it, but these are important games, man. Even if you got a Bettman from the 2 Florida teams, you'd be better off than you are. This is a team that I feel has started to believe that it's okay to lose, that it's no longer, it's tough. We got Leon out. I think mentally it's been a long 2.5 years for this team, almost 3 years, and it's really showing right now. I think this is the most flummoxing addition of the team since Pat Quinn was coach. I tweeted that out the other day, and I believe it. And that includes Dallas Eakins. I think they were less addled during that period.
Alan Mitchell with us on Sports 1440. So on that play you're talking about, Kucherov's out of the penalty box. The lob pass from Moser. It's an incredible lob pass, if you want to call it that. But moments before, the Oilers had 2 chances, and then Bouchard rings one off the crossbar. They still would have had a power play as well, had that gone in under the bar. It's 2-2, and we're not even talking about the stuff we're talking about because the Oilers are in the game then. To me, there's so many other, even when you get back into the game tied on the Szymanski goal, which is luckier than hell, and then you see the 4th goal, how that's done, like Nugent Hopkins, that's all on him behind the net. I mean, this is him with Hagel basically stripping the puck from him and wanting it more and being more aware and alert to set up Kucherov for his 40th of the year. So I think there's so many other things to look at here.
Why was Ekholm down? There was 3 guys. When Ekholm went down low, he left the front of the net completely open. And I think Ekholm was like, okay, I got to, we got to outnumber here. Because Nuge wasn't going to win that battle. But positionally speaking,
Ekholm is in really rough shape. Yeah, he's in poor position.
Yeah, and I just think they're, sometimes even veteran players, they try to do too much because they know the importance of a game or a situation, and I think maybe that was Ekholm in that situation.
Well, the Oilers were in poor position on almost every goal. Even the second goal, the power play goal by Gensel, like Bouchard's playing Kucherov too high, too far away from the net. If he's back a step and a half, Gensel doesn't come out from behind the net and the goal line. So,
yeah, the 2 Florida teams they play as close to 1975 as you can do in 2026. They're filthy, and it's as tale as old as time. Not Beauty and the Beast, but there's another one, and it's this. Fred Shero figured out when he became coach of the Philadelphia Flyers in the 70s. If my team does 3 things outside the law in a period, the referee is going to call 2 penalties. But if my team does 10 things outside the law in a period, the referee is going to call 2 penalties. And that's what we're seeing in Florida and Tampa Bay. They have so many infractions, the referee couldn't possibly call all of them. And so both teams, Florida last year and the year before, and certainly Tampa Bay this year, they're running roughshod over the league. And the reason they're doing it is they have overflowed with the nasty hits and the nasty plays. And that's where we are. You can't call them all because they'd be in the penalty box the whole damn time. So what happens is the referees in their own mind, they establish a level where, okay, well, I got to call that one. And they do it maybe, how many penalties did either Florida team get when they came through here? And there were a lot of, outside the law hits. But and it'll get worse in the playoffs because the referees really put the whistles away. I think I think we're headed for more of that because Florida's won that way. And I think we're going to head for more of that in the league where it's really outside the law stuff. And that's when the high skill guys end up getting hurt.
Dad, I'm going to shift gears here, sticking with the Oilers, but moving from off the ice here, from the ice to off the ice, I should say. A couple of comments made over the weekend. I guess by both of the leaders, both of the captain, assistant captain, Leon, as he was over in Germany speaking with a reporter, just talking about, made some comments about the time frame in terms of his return and if the boys will be playing long enough, kind of insinuating that he might not be back in time early enough for the playoffs. And then Connor's comments about Coach Knobloch post-game. Did you make anything of that?
I did on both. With Leon, that's 3 times now. Coach Chris Knobloch said it was one way, Bowman said it another, and then Draisaitl chimed in with his own opinion. 2 things. Number one, there's always a lost in translation. I'll have Rachel Kreischock on at 12:40 today. She is fairly fluent in German, so she's going to parse it all for us and tell us exactly what Leon said, because there is a lost in translation. But I think Leon, if he can play, he'll be back. We saw him with the high ankle sprain, a few years ago here, and he kept playing. I think he'll be fine to play if they make the playoffs, and as of today, I'm not sure that's going to happen. And then as far as McDavid is concerned, I think it's frustration, but I think it's also frustration that is well reasoned frustration, because sometimes you don't have all the talent, but you should have all the effort, and I think they do. I don't think they're, people are saying, well, they don't. I think they care a lot, maybe too much. But the other thing is you have to be able to execute properly. And part of that is Kevin talked about coverage by Bouchard. He is a very talented puck mover, but he can improve defensively. The folks who really love Evan Bouchard's results, and I do too, are always, well, come on, look at the results. And I do, and that's fine. But single plays can have great importance too. And it's okay if Evan Bouchard plays better defensively. And I think the Oilers are gapped too wide, the forwards and the defensemen. And I think that those elements that are frustrating, McDavid used a word, I wasn't choreographed, maybe it hurts, I can't remember what it is. But man, they know it by rote, and it can be done. And it can be done in a short period of time. And I'll give you an example. At the beginning of the 2006 playoffs, Craig McTavish changed the way the Oilers played the forecheck. They plowed the middle of the ice, the neutral zone against the Detroit Red Wings. It was a new look. Detroit couldn't handle it, and they ended up beating Detroit and then moving on and beating both California teams and making it to the final. It can be done. A coaching staff can do that. And I think these players are all smart. I know that people are, this guy doesn't have hockey sense. They're the National damn Hockey League. They're all really smart people. And so I think the Oilers need to kind of reset a little bit here, because they're too damn predictable. They truly are. And their coverage is just nasty. Don't let people get behind you, damn it.
We've talked about Evan Bouchard a lot here in the last bit. He's played exceptionally well. Saturday night, I thought he had a very poor game. And I think he would be the first to tell you that. His positional play was off. And the second goal, I thought, the first goal, he didn't tie his man up in front hard enough, wasn't hard enough on his stick. But that's Evan Bouchard. I would expect Evan Bouchard to have a whale of a game. And again, he puts that one an inch lower, Tide. We're talking about a different game here. We're not talking about all these comments after the game. We're talking about different stuff here.
Sure, but there's a thing in life where you can have 5 years experience or 1 year's experience 5 times. And I think Evan Bouchard is a brilliant player with the puck.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of the best I've seen, no doubt about it. But I refuse to believe that he cannot improve in coverage. He's a smart guy. And you can say, well, he's passive. Well, he looks passive, but he does a lot of really smart things.
Sure he does.
He rarely gets hit hard because he's always moving out of the way. People get mad at him, but he's been able to stay healthy. Mm-hmm. He's a bright fellow. I refuse to believe that he can't play better defensively. I reject that idea. Larry Murphy was a similar player, and he did improve defensively, and I think Evan Bouchard can too. He looks indifferent, but I know he cares, and I think he can improve, and I hope he will.
Tide, what's coming up on the lowdown today?
Well, we have the multilingual Rachel Krychak at 12:40, and I don't know if Gregor speaks any other languages. He makes up words, that we know. He'll be on at 1:20. Well, you and I better not talk too much, Karius, because I've heard both of us say words that don't exist.
You got that right.
But he'll be there at 1:20, and we'll talk about hits outside the law, hits that should be penalized, and Eddie would know a little bit about that.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff. Thanks, Tide. Have a good one, big fella. And
right,
always appreciate you leading off. Thanks, man.
All right, be good.
That's our headliner of the day, brought to you by Mr. Rooter, the #1 overall pick in your fantasy plumbing pool. That's mrrooter.ca. And maybe I think he was talking about the AJ Greer 3 games on Connor Zary.
Filthy.
Man, between that one and Radko Gudas, the old Department of Player Safety, they don't do themselves any help.
No, they don't help themselves at all.
And people are going to be crazy about this. The more I looked at the Greer and Zary hit, I would have been okay, to be honest with you, with 5 or 4.
But 3 is a
3,
little
I thought,
light.
was just a little.
Little
But
light.
I didn't think it was crazy.
No, we've
over
seen
5.
worse. Yeah, we've seen worse.
Yeah.
But just, whenever you see a guy go into the board like that, ooh, gives me the chills. And then the first thing he did, KK, grabbed the back of his neck, like his spine. Oh.
Yeah, for me, I go back a long, long time, Eddie. This is way, way before there was a young guy. We're about the same age, I think. Brad Horning was playing for the Regina Pats. And he went into the boards, and he's paralyzed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
A long time ago. And I was really the first one. There was a kid out of Boston College or Boston U, Derek Roy. I think that was his name. That was a little bit after that too, but they're tough. Hey, got to mention Adam Schefter reporting. Jackson Smith Njigba has signed a contract with the Seattle Seahawks, the Offensive Player of the Year, Super Bowl champion. 4 years, $168.6 million, makes him the highest paid wide receiver in NFL history. On the year-per-year basis, he goes to 42.15. Jamar Chase is at 40.25.
Most importantly, how much guaranteed? It doesn't say? Okay.
Yeah. I don't have that. Maybe Duke will be able to find that during the break. But
out of that one, you said 160?
The total is 168.6.
168. Let's just play the guessing game. Guaranteed. We'll find out the guaranteed number. I say
125.
Yeah, I say 110 guaranteed.
Okay. Had 1,800 receiving yards. He's 24 years old. 24 years old.
I was curious because I just read some news that they exercised the 5th-year option on him, so that makes sense. They exercised it so they could sign him long term.
Charles Cross, 4 years, 104. Pardon me. Holy man, they're just a lot of cash in Seattle.
A lot of cash.
A lot of cash. Text 833-401 1440. We'll get to some of those when we come back. Kevin Karius, Eddie Steele. The Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio. Presented by Sports Select. We're also streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
At Hughes, it's all about getting in and out quick and clean. No cash, no problem. With Hughes' new tap and wash system, all you need is your debit or credit card to get your vehicle sparkling clean.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com. It's Truck Month at Wolf GMC Buick, and we know trucks. And we have the best deals of the year right now. Some have 0% for 4 years. We have 0% for 6 years. That's on our number one selling GMC Sierra half-ton crew cab, or the Elevation, the AT4, or Denali. Yep, 0% for 72 months. And Costco members get an extra discount on some of our SUVs. Pop in today and drive away smiling. Wolf, GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, healing doesn't have to feel heavy, because in our SwimX aquatic therapy pools, you literally float your way to recovery. Whether you're dealing with arthritis, back pain, joint injuries, post-surgical rehab, chronic pain, balance issues, mobility challenges, or just feeling a little creaky, warm water and gentle resistance have your back, your knees, and your hips. Trusted by pro sports teams and rehab hospitals, our SwimX pools help you move sooner, hurt less, and recover faster. So take the load off. Let the water do the work. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
At GS Construction, every winter plan becomes a spring project. Every repaired line and every improved system is how we build the next chapter of Edmonton's infrastructure. And we can't do that without the best and the brightest in the field. That's why right now, GS Construction is looking to hire experienced top men, pipe layers, and operators who can step in and hit the ground running. With a people-first mentality, career growth, and comprehensive benefits, why would you want to work anywhere else? To apply, visit gsconstruction.ca.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpot's Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense. Craving a dining experience that rises above the rest? Head to Summit Restaurant in the Silent Ice Center, just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Savor exceptional house-made pizza, delectable entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails in a stylish, modern atmosphere. Perfect for a casual meal or a special night out. Summit offers a refined experience where every bite and sip reflects our dedication to quality. Elevate your dining experience. Make Summit Restaurant your destination tonight. This is Andrew Walker, host of the postgame show on Sports 1440. After every hockey game this season, tune in and chime in as we talk about the game. It's all sponsored by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Don't get left in the cold. Visit legacyheating.ca.
The weather doesn't care about your shift or your schedule. Carhartt Rain Defender sweatshirts let you battle back against the ever-changing elements. Carhartt's durable water-repellent technology lets light rain beat up and roll right off. Layer up and stay on the job longer without getting drenched. Get your Carhartt Rain Defender sweatshirts at all 3 of our Edmonton job site workwear locations.
Job site workwear, tough different tough jobs.
Oh, Canada. Jiffy Lube is here to keep you moving through mornings like these. Full synthetic oil changes, quality Pennzoil products, tire checks, battery tests, and everything else your car needs to get through our winters. Stop by Jiffy Lube for fast, easy, warranty-approved service. No appointment, no hassle. Just dependable service right when you need it. Jiffy Lube, keeping you moving through this.
Sports 1440. All sports, all day.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Thanks for listening to Edmonton's sports leader.
All right, welcome back to the big program. 7:45 in Edmonton. Kevin Karius, Eddie Steele. Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick with you here on a Monday morning. So glad you're with us on the show, and it's presented by Sports Select. It's so easy to play. Just generate the QR code. Check the how to play videos. They got the step-by-step instruction. It's 100% legal. You got to be 18 plus. Please play responsibly. Dave texted in a while ago. Needed Eddie's contact. Wanted to pick up some supplies.
I got you, Dave.
Dave is under control here. Eddie's got it under control
I got
for you, Dave.
covered, Dave.
Wow.
Giving him a buzz.
Now,
if you let me get out of here on time.
Your standard time. But having said that, now, if you are not aware of this text that comes in, this sale doesn't happen. So whoa. Duke and I and Fenny, maybe I was saying, like, I'm thinking of 5-3-2, 10% commission.
Whoa.
5 for me because I sent it to you. 3 for Duke, 2 for Fenny.
What did they do? What did they contribute?
They could have easily just not even paid attention to the text line.
Well, they didn't alert me. They didn't flag the text.
That's
it was
why
you.
That's why I'm taking 5%.
Yeah.
I'm helping the brothers out.
I love it. I love it.
Okay. 10% off Eddie's take here.
Man, I just got my CRA, my taxes owing. Oh boy.
Text 833-401-1440. Bobby says, gentlemen, defending McDavid, no pun intended, is absolutely the worst take possible. I don't understand what he's talking about here.
Defending him in what sense?
Well, about his defending. He's using a pun.
Yeah,
I don't think we were to be honest.
I don't think anybody defended him. That's what I mean.
Well, I don't know what he's talking about here. If anything, Bobby, in the last couple of games, Connor's tried to do too much. I think he's trying to do.
Interesting you say that.
Okay,
because I had in my notes that
with Leon Draisaitl out, maybe he's trying to do too much, and you could say that's how that play developed on the Kucherov shorthanded goal, where he's wiped out. And then Moser makes the big pass.
I really noticed against Florida a little bit too much 1 on 2 or 3,
Yes.
like a little too much stick handling, trying to go through 4 defenders. Seeing that way too frequently lately.
Matthew texts, and I think McDavid Draisaitl will have to own some of the criticism because it's not all about coaching. To me, it's more of a player thing, not buying into playing both sides of the ice as a team.
Thanks for reading this.
I get it. I mean, we've talked about this until the top 6, and they've done it at times. They've bought in at times the top 6 to play as hard defensively as they play offensively. Until that happens on a full-time, regular basis, the team is going nowhere.
I'm glad you read that text because that one really strikes a chord with me. I firmly believe that the leadership has to be looked at. And I'm people point the finger and call me crazy for thinking that, but just because you're the best players in the world doesn't mean you're void of having the finger pointed at you and being assessed. And quite honestly, yeah, Connor and Leon, their overall game needs to improve. I believe their overall leadership, be it on the ice, off the ice, needs to improve. I know the coaching lifespan is 2.5 years. It's not long in the NHL, but to have the caliber of players that they have, and I get that they were in the Stanley Cup Finals 2 years in a row, but you don't have anything to show for it. You don't have nothing to show for it but second place. They've burned through a lot of coaches through these guys' tenure and still haven't gotten it done.
We get, Dallas texting. The players are lost in the system. So, okay, what is the system, Dallas? Is the system and we just talked about it with Tide on the 4th goal. Is the system for Matthias Ekholm to be behind the net? Are they saying, Matthias, be behind the net? If you're puck support coming in, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, don't battle Hagel for the puck. Is that the system? No, it's not the system.
It's a decision.
It's the players who are on that specific play. Do you think that that's what the system is? Dallas says the 4th goal was Nugent-Hopkins just being weak on his stick. Well, that's half of it, as we just discussed with Tide.
Yeah.
What is Matthias Ekholm doing? Who's the most dangerous guy in the world right now? Kucherov.
Yeah, this is beyond just system. You can't sit here and say this is a systematic thing.
So Connor's saying things like, in Connor's post game, they've got a great system. This is his quote. They're perfectly coached. They all know what they're doing all over the ice. It's impressive. They're a great team. So do you think that the Oilers system is to have Bush on the first goal, not hard enough on front of the net? Do you think on the shorthanded goal, it's Connor attacking and getting laid out?
Or do you think it's buy-in to the system?
Maybe
what about the buy-in to the system? What if the system works? How about you players need to buy in a little better?
I'm with you on that, Eddie. Like, again, you're still in it's 3-2. You've got the luckiest goal in the world. It's 3-2. And the fourth goal is an absolute, it smells. It's a pile of crap on so many areas when you watch it. So is that the system?
I'm with you, KK. I'm with you, man. For me, it's a lot easier to point the finger at the players having been a former player. I get that they're the best players in the world, so it's hard to be critical of them. But for me, that doesn't really affect me because I've been in the locker room and everybody deserves the criticism at their rightful times.
Yeah. 833-401-1440. Should mention, and the real Duke just texted this in, that the Toronto Blue Jays have extended Ross Atkins and John Schneider.
Got them both done. 5
years. Ross Atkins, 5-year deal. And then John Schneider extended Monday. And then Shapiro had an extension done earlier. So big cash,
Big cash. Do they say the numbers?
No.
Oh, going back to the cash too. You were right on that little question we had about the guaranteed with JSN's deal.
Oh,
you said 125. I believe it was north of 120.
120. That's what Fenny said. So 120.
Good for you, KK.
Just
It's another day, baby.
It's just thinking about if it's 3/4 or whatever, right, Eddie? That's the way it is.
Just doing math on the fly. No big.
Yeah.
Cooch points race. Do you think he takes it, KK?
Yeah, I do. Trav M from Hardesty. Remember, Scotty Bowman made Stevie Y play both ways. I think you can't have a captain that is only offensive. That kind of play rubs off on everyone. So again, for the 8,000th time, and not just Connor, until the top 6 play as hard defensively as they do offensively, the team will never win the Stanley Cup. Because they've done this at times. They did it at times all the way leading up to the finals against Florida. But what happened in Game 5? And it's a couple simple plays where defensively, the buy-in wasn't there. And it could be awareness. Again, the effort, I don't think I'll ever question effort. Maybe 1 out of 100 games, because the effort, it's just how you play.
Yeah, you can't question the effort because you're never in the boots, KK.
That's right.
It's very well said, though, how you play.
Yeah. The lines, again, after Tuesday's win over San Jose, things were going well. I thought Podkolzin was put up with McDavid against Florida just in case Tkachuk did something stupid. But there was also an opportunity there. I mean, like Max Jones could have lined up, across from Tkachuk for the opening faceoff.
Totally.
And those guys were teammates.
Yeah, I think we were fooled a little with that San Jose game because look, San Jose, as fun as the story has been, and Celebrini as well as he's played, they are not there yet. He's 50 points ahead of the next best point getter on his team. Like, it's a one-man show there in San Jose. So you have everybody out there feasting and, life without Leon's okay. You see a couple of formidable opponents here with those Florida teams, and I don't know if life is so good, baby.
Hey, imagine that Florida game, Max Jones lines up.
That would have been awesome.
And they played together and won a Memorial Cup together.
That would have been awesome. I'm for that, man. I like the aggressive nature that became in the Tampa game, man. Murphy throwing it down, Pods. Pod's got a strong right, baby. He's got a strong right.
Yeah, Pods is good, man. Top of the hour, Mark Spector. I believe he's at the airport, Duke. Mark Spector getting ready for a little road trip to Utah, and then I would imagine he goes to Vegas. It's a nice that's a nice little week
for sure.
For Big Spec.
Week in the heat.
Yeah. Oh man, what a lucky guy. What a lucky guy. What a lucky guy. Also, we'll go in or out with Eddie Steele. Before all that, time now for a Sports 1440 update brought to you by All Star Construction. They shape and build Edmonton communities, specializing in underground utilities like power, gas, telecommunications, and street lighting. That's All Star Construction. Here is the Duke.
The Sports 1440 update.
A 9-game slate across the NHL yesterday. The Jets get past the Rangers 3-2 in a shootout. Capitals fall to the Avalanche 3-2 in overtime. Canes win over Pittsburgh 5-1. Preds taught the Blackhawks 3-2 in overtime. Ilya Sorokin picks up his 7th shutout of the season, 1-0 blanking of the Blue Jackets for the Islanders. Golden Knights get a big 2 points over Dallas 3-2. Lightning fall to the Flames 4-3 in overtime. Ducks back and forth affair with Buffalo. Anaheim takes it 6-5 in overtime. And the nightcap, the Mammoth beating LA 4-3, also in overtime. Just 5 games in the association, including the Raptors losing in Phoenix 120-98. And day number 4 of March Madness. Defending champion Florida goes down to Iowa 73-72. Elsewhere, Arizona, Purdue, Iowa State, UConn, Tennessee, St. John's, and Alabama all advancing. From the NFL offseason reports this morning that reigning offensive player of the year Jackson Smith-Njigba has signed a record-setting extension, 4 years, $168.6 million, making him the highest-paid wide receiver in NFL history. And a couple days ahead of opening day, Toronto Blue Jays extending general manager Ross Atkins and manager John Schneider. Coming up in hour 2 of the Kevin Karius Show, we'll be joined by Sportsnet's Mark Spector, and we'll check in with a new edition of In or Out. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Getting in on the sports action you want is as easy as playing at sportselect.com. Simply make your picks online, generate your QR code, and lock in your bet at your local Lotto Spot retailer. Then sit back, watch the game, grip your chair, and high-five anyone nearby. Every bet is 100% legal with the chance of winning cash in hand. Sports Select. When you're ready to play, bet on the original. Must be 18 plus to play. Play responsibly.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. We're the #1 dealer in the world. Just kidding. If we were, would you care? We're the #1 dealer in Canada. Still kidding. You probably still don't care. Tell you what you will care about, our March Madness sale going on right now. Discounts up to $30,000. And the grand opening of our Autoplex, a massive indoor showroom. No self-proclaimed titles, no iPads, no trips to Vegas or hockey jerseys, just a really good deal. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Booster Juice is going crazy for hazelnuts.
No, not crazy. Nuts.
Booster Juice is going bananas for hazelnuts.
I mean, there are bananas in smoothies, but that's not the point.
Banana juice is booster for hazelnuts.
What? Just stop.
Booster Juice is going nuts for hazelnut. Introducing the Nutty Monkey Smoothie, Holy Hazelnut Acai Bowl, and Nutty Booster Ball, all made with rich, creamy hazelnut spread. Try them today, only at Booster Juice. Canadian-born, blending since 1999.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
Don't let equipment failure stop you cold. At AWS Welding in Nisku, our factory-trained service techs are on hand for all welding equipment repairs. We're a fully warranted center for Miller, Lincoln, and ESAB. And we service all makes and models. Proper, regular service extends the life of your gear and keeps it running at peak capacity. Don't wait for a breakdown. Book your service appointment today at 780-979-0470. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
This is your moment to come on down and play for your chance to win over $300,000 in prizes. But that's not all. Buy more, save more on select major appliances. Up to $1,000 off. Save up to 40% on select mattresses and up to 25% on furniture. Plus, this Saturday, play for up to $1,000 off your purchase. Everyone who plays is a winner. See in store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
just in time for the morning skate. This is the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program. 8:01 in Edmonton. Kevin Karius, Eddie Steele with you here. Duke of Delburne and Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio, presented by Sports Select. Time now for On the Mark, brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. March Madness is finally here, you betcha. And March Madness, it's no joke. No giveaways, no phony prizes, just a good old-fashioned deal. See more at northgategm.com as we welcome in Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet. Good morning, Spec.
What's happening, Kev? Eddie?
You're at the airport, big guy.
At the airport. Got a piece up already this morning to read. Been productive. I've been a productive guy.
How do you do it?
I don't know. Sometimes I wonder.
Have you been to Utah before?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was at a game there last year.
Okay. Wasn't sure.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think they've redone that rink a little bit since then.
Yeah.
So what's guy doing a Monday night in
I'll tell you right now.
What Tabernacle Choir? What do you do?
I will tell you right now. What time do you land?
Like 3 or something.
Well, you head down and you can watch the Toronto Raptors play the Utah Jazz tonight.
Oh, are they playing tonight?
There you go, Spec.
Last time you said that it was a banger of a game too, Kevin. Where was it? I forget where. But you told Spec to go to a game.
Yeah, the last time. Well, it wasn't the Raptors weren't playing, but
it was a good game.
Oh, it was the Monday Night Football game. Remember? You were in Pittsburgh, Spec. You didn't go to that either.
It was freezing that night. I wasn't going to that game. Yeah, maybe. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, maybe. So, Spec, in this piece that you have up, I mean, you got it up so quick. Fellas not even able to get eyes on it.
I read it, man. Come on,
you
go ahead,
you've read it? I haven't read it. So, what's it entail? What are we looking at here?
Well, we're just digging in a little bit on McDavid's gushing over John Cooper's fine work the other night after Cooper's team came into the town and beat him 5-2. I thought that was a little. I thought it was interesting. What do you think Chris Knobloch thinks of those words, boys?
Well, that's something you'll ask him today, I guess. I guess you won't see him today.
I won't see him because I'll be in the air, but I suspect Connor will be asked to speak again today. And you know what? It's funny. Like Draisaitl had a little shot at Knobloch before Christmas, or before the Olympic break, I should say. And, I don't know. Like I was standing there and listening to Connor say it.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't as confrontational as it might have sounded if you just read the quotes. But either way, usually when you go in the dressing room, guys, and I've been in lots of them, when a team loses, they're not effusive in praise about the team that just whipped them. And that stood out for me. It was a little strange. I know we played for Cooper at the Olympics, and I know they have a lot of respect for each other and all that, but I thought if I was Knobloch listening to this, I wouldn't love it much.
See, to me, like listening to them on Saturday night, Spec, as you just said, you're standing there. You didn't think much of it. And then I think the more people started piling on and saying that he was slagging Knobloch, I think there were more people that went into that camp because they don't like Knobloch.
Well, there's always going to be that. You can't let social media, like you're right, Kev, absolutely, that's correct. But I always tell myself, don't shape your opinion by what social media is doing because it's stupid. There's no sense. There's no reality. There's no, I try to think of, I'm just looking at precedent, Kev.
Mm-hmm.
You've been in lots of rooms. Like not only did Connor McDavid say it once, they're perfectly coached, and the next question he answered with talking about how well coached they are again. You know, like he knows.
Okay.
Connor knows when he says stuff that it reverberates through the hockey world. He knows that. So
we were talking about this, Eddie and I, before you came on. So you can say they're perfectly coached, they're all that. So what about all the dumb mistakes that the Oilers players made on Saturday? The dumb mistakes Connor made on Saturday.
Yeah.
So is the coach telling Connor and Matthias Ekholm, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, is he telling them to play that way? Absolutely not. So this has to rest on the players here a little bit, no?
Well, for sure. Like this, the fact that these guys haven't figured out their game all season long. Are we blaming the coach for this? This is a team, no one's played more playoff games than them in the West, in the last 5 years.
Exactly.
So do we need a coach to come in and reteach this veteran group how to play a proper defensive game, how to find a consistent game that can win more than 3 in a row? Like, is that on Knobloch? I don't know. I mean, he redid his defensive system after the Olympic break. So that's a serious bit of coaching, and they've been better defensively for sure. But then in the end, the same guys are making the same mistakes. I mean, look at it's a complicated scenario when you're coaching the greatest player in the world. But I'll say this: the greatest player in the world's got a 5-on-5 goal differential of +11, and Kucherov and McKinnon, who both have this roughly the same amount of points as him, are like +40 something.
There you go.
+40 something. He's a good 30, 35 goals behind those guys.
So
because his defensive work this year, Connor McDavid's defensive work this year hasn't been very good.
It's been very bad. It's right. It shows glimpses. It's their spec, but the attention to detail. And again, this will be the 5th time I said it this morning. Until the top 6, not just Connor, until the top 6 play as hard and with awareness and with passion defensively as they do offensively, they'll never win the Stanley Cup.
Right. And, sure. Like I would say to you that, I mean, when you invoke the Stanley Cup, we always seem to forget like this whole issue of, the Oilers are a failure. They never won the Cup. Well, there's an element of that. There's one thing you're trying to win, but they have been to 2 cups in a row and got to Game 6 and Game 7. So obviously they know how to play. Obviously they play a good enough defensive game. They have it in their arsenal. You don't get there, lose Game 7, and all of a sudden you're a crappy team or a crappy defensive team. The score in that game was 2-1. I'll remind you.
And they had the minute 15 power play spec with 2 chances and a crossbar. That goes in. They still got a power play, and they've got control of the game.
Right. So the point is, they played at a championship level. They haven't won the championship, but they've played at that level, and they've done it more than once. They won 6 playoff rounds the last 2 years. So it's like they all know how to do it, is my point. Everybody knows what it takes. We've been hearing it from them all year. We know how to play. We know how to play. Well, you know what? We're 71 games in. Like, when do we get to finally see it? When do we open the present here? And that's not on the coach for me. Sorry. If you could say it's on the GM because he didn't get enough good players here or he made a bad trade there. We can talk about the personnel and all that, but the top 6 is still the top 6 around here. And if those guys aren't playing well defensively, don't tell me Knobloch's the one that's got to get Connor McDavid to stop, trying to make a solo rush and turning over a bad puck, right?
Wow, boys, coming with some real facts this morning, you guys. You really are. And it's the truth, though. This team, in spec, you said something. I'll kind of counter it. You'll push back, maybe, I assume, a bit, but you'll understand where I'm coming from. And look, you talk about how they played at a championship level, but they have nothing to show for it. Just because they got there, and we respect the efforts, but they have nothing to show for it over the past 2 years. So in reality, they haven't played up to that level. And to say that, they can just flick it on the way that they can, these switch flickers, I just don't see it. And I personally don't think that this is going to be their year that they go deep in the playoffs.
No, I mean, all of those things are true. I don't think they'll go deep this year either. I mean, I guess you could get through the Pacific because it's so god awful.
They can get to the Final Four here easy.
Yeah, you could. I agree that no team just flicks a switch. I agree with that, Eddie. That's not how you do it. We're 10 games left, and they haven't found the switch yet, right? They just started out a homestand 2-0 and looked real good, and then two good teams came in and beat them relatively for fun. So they're right back at square one again. They've been at square one about 40 times this year. So all of that is true. I guess I would just say to you, you can't. It's like Team Canada at the Olympics. You know, are they a total failure? Like, they got the gold medal game, they outplayed the other team, they should have won the game because they missed two open nets, and they lost. So they lost. They didn't get the goal. We all understand that. The goal was gold. They didn't get it. But are we looking at that team and saying, oh, well, there's a million things wrong with that team. That team's no good. They don't know how to win, this or that. No, they had a bad run. You know, the Oilers proved that they could take a team that no one else could beat. They took them 6 and 7, and they didn't beat them. But so yes, I agree with you. They didn't accomplish their goal. They don't have any rings. There's something left to get settled here. There's no question. But when I hear guys across the country telling me that this team's no good, they don't know how to win. Well, tell me you don't know how to win. Yeah. You won 6 playoff rounds, right? Walked into Vegas and beat them in 5. You beat Dallas in 4 straight after losing the first game last year. Don't tell me you don't know how to win. They know how to win, right? They weren't as good as Florida, but they know how to win.
Mark Spector with us, Kevin Karius, Eddie Steele with you on Sports 1440. What do you think of that suspension, AJ Greer, 3 games spec?
I think we need to stop focusing on George Peros and focus on the PA. And this is why. There's this big argument out there. Oh, is that should Peros have adjudicated this as a hit from behind, as boarding, as interference? Who cares, right? Who cares what it was called? Well, the reason they care is it has to stand up to a PA challenge. Mm-hmm. Like whatever. That's why we always talk about the precedents. What do we have for precedents on this hit? It's because whatever you do, the PA is going to challenge it. So my point is, and I'll make it short, I think instead of us always leaning on Peros, I think it's time to lean on the PA. Like, if players are going to come out and bitch about Peros, I'll tell you what, shut up and go bitch to your PA head, whoever he is this week, right? Go talk to the PA. If you want player safety, tell the PA to quit appealing every decently sized, every proper suspension, and get the hell out of the way and protect you guys. I'm tired of players telling me the league's not protecting them. It's the PA that's the problem here.
Now, are you saying that because the PA represents both the player, the injured player, and the player doing the offense?
But they what's the word I'm looking for? They support the player who's on the carpet. They support AJ Greer far more than they support Zary. They're working for Greer, not Sorry.
Yeah.
And they are in every suspension until it gets so out of hand that they can't protect Rafi Torres anymore and they give up on him. But the rest of the time, they're protecting the AJ Greers over the Zaris all day long. And that's a PA issue. And those players should, like I say, quit bitching about Peros and get inside their own meeting and their own offices and figure it out between them. I'm a little tired of the whole, I don't feel sorry for George Peros. I think he's doing a crappy job too, but I think I know why.
The other thing I'd like to see, Spec, is, and I know there, once you go from the fine to the suspension, that's the big deal because the player does get hit money-wise. But I would like to see the money, the suspensions, the fines way bigger. Like, you know how it's like something that's borderline. Yeah. Hey, do you think he's going to get a 1 game?
Yeah, $5,000
no,
is nothing.
He'll get $5,000.
$5,000 max too. Yeah. Like that's laughable.
They don't care about that. I'd like to see that.
Well, that's collectively bargained.
That's right.
That is the
that's
PA protecting their players.
That's
the
PA your PA question right there.
Right. The PA protects the guy that does the crime, not the victim.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, Spec. Just with this game tomorrow, we talked about this suspension too. So this game tomorrow, what with this Utah team, what impresses you the most about the Mammoth? I mean, there's a decent chance that they're going to have more points than the Pacific Division winner. You never know. They're right neck and neck, basically, with Anaheim right now. So this is a young team. Here's another thing. A lot of people felt that Andre Tourné was not the right guy to coach this team. Not the right guy. But everything seems to be coming into place here for the Mammoth in the last several weeks.
Yeah, good for them. I mean, I'll say to you what I always say about these teams like Arizona or Utah, Buffalo, Detroit, Montreal, Ottawa. Arizona was garbage for how many years in a row? When's the last time they made the playoffs? Is it 7 years? Is it 8 years? Anaheim, no different. They're good. They're a really nice young team. Utah now, they're fast. They got some skill. They got a goalie in Vijmelka that I like a lot. I like Turgeon. Always have. He's a killer, great guy, and I think he's a pretty good coach. But geez, they lost forever. They should be good by now, right? Utah should be good.
Oh, yeah.
How many years did the Oilers roll through Arizona and beat that team for fun? Only 10. So yeah, they're good. Okay, great. They're good. They finally got good. I would hope that would happen in Utah. Their owner is unbelievable. Ryan Smith is all over spending every dollar he can spend on them. They're redoing the stadium. They got a pretty good market there. Their logoing and their marketing is all hip and young and good. They got a really good thing going in Utah. Bettman landed on his feet after that long stand he made in Arizona that didn't work. He landed on his feet in Salt Lake City, I think.
Well, he landed on his feet and then some, because it's almost like a double dip what'll happen when Arizona comes back into the league spec, because they're going to get another couple $2 billion here for that.
They will. They'll get a couple billion. I mean, they just need how many owners did they run through there that turned out not to be the right owner? They got to find the right owner and find the right rink, and then hockey will work in Phoenix, and I'll be happy to go there and find out if it's working.
Several people texted in spec. It was spec in Denver for the OKC game.
That's right. I knew it was basketball.
We've got the Pittsburgh Steelers Monday night game.
No, it wasn't. I watched that game on TV. It was in OKC.
Oh.
I was in Denver.
Kevin, the look on Kevin's face.
It wasn't making sense to me, these texts either.
I knew it, and it was way more recent than NFL. It was Monday Night Football you talked, but it was last week. Some basketball.
Yeah, it was. It was a good game. What's his name? The Canadian kid,
Murray.
The kid
did
in
the record
OKC.
120 or SGA. I mean, sorry.
Right at the end. Yeah. Anyway, the game you talked about was in Pittsburgh. It was freezing cold. I watched that game on TV too.
I love the texters. I love how they remembered that. That's great.
Hey, texters, get out there and get your facts straight.
Oh, you know what? Because we love you so much, we hope you get strip searched and inconvenienced at the airport, Spec.
Yeah, by an ICE agent.
You took it there.
All right, Spec. Have fun in Salt Lake, baby.
Okay, boys. See you later.
All right, Mark Spector, Rogers Sportsnet on the mark, brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. This truck's for you. Check them out at northgategm.com.
That's good.
Not
I
very
love
nice.
this.
You're wishing ill will to Spec.
Yeah, it's a little inconvenience. That's all.
Have you ever been detained, Eddie, at the border?
Yeah, I have actually. I was young. I was young and dumb. Probably about 20.
And
driving down.
You were driving?
Yeah. Me and
south
some buddies.
Of Winnipeg?
Yeah, south of Winnipeg.
Where's the crossing there? It's called
at Morris there.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's just 2 hours straight south.
And you were willing to
North
share
Dakota.
a little story or not?
No. Had to pull the dogs out on me.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that your biggest brush with the law?
Nope.
Oh boy.
Nope.
And this could be a great segment.
Oh, no, people would turn on me. They would think I'm not as good of a guy as I
really
portray myself.
The cleaning supplies have to clean up Eddie's steel cast.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
Well, we might have to get into this.
We're all young and dumb, right? We're all young and dumb.
Yeah, everyone makes some bad mistakes. It's about how you
bounce back. Yeah.
How you change and learn and figure it out from there.
Mistakes aren't mistakes if you don't learn from them.
Well said. When we come back, we'll get to some of your texts, 833-401-1440. Maybe talk a little more JSN, some football, some NCAA, maybe some curling, the whole kit and caboodle. After the break, Kevin Karius, Eddie Steele, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio. Presented by Sports Select. We're also streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
At Fountain Tire, the savings come in threes. Up to 25% off select tires, a mail-in rebate of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires, and $50 off $150 service. We're basically the BLT of savings. Until April 25th. Restrictions apply. Book today.
It's coming. An unstoppable force that will turn your home into the Sweatbox.
Don't live in a summer blockbuster. Pro Solutions is your one-call solves-it-all expert for AC repairs, tune-ups, and new installations. With fast appointments and flexible financing, we'll make sure your home story has a comfortable ending. AC season is coming soon, so book today.
Lock in pre-season pricing today.
Visit prosolutionsinc.ca to schedule your service today. Whether it's a house, a gas station, an apartment complex, or any new building going up above ground, the work always starts below ground. And that's where you'll find GS Construction. GS Construction ensures the first step, relocating utilities, installing new ones, and building the underground systems, is taken to make progress possible. But the work can't start without you. GS Construction is currently on the lookout for experienced top men, pipe layers, and operators. To apply, visit gsconstruction.ca.
Country. Your seat is closer than you think. Starting at just $28 a week with a deposit-free payment plan available. Securing your full, half, and quarter season seats inside Rogers Place for the 2026-27 season has never been easier. Sign up for pre-sale access at edmontonoilers.com/season seats. Experience all that Rogers Place has to offer during an Oilers game night by visiting edmontonoilers.com/season seats.
This is Andrew Walker, host of the postgame show on Sports 1440. After every hockey game this season, tune in and chime in as we talk about the game. It's all sponsored by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Don't get left in the cold. Visit legacyheating.ca.
The weather doesn't care about your shift or your schedule. Carhartt Rain Defender sweatshirts let you battle back against the ever-changing elements. Carhartt's durable water-repellent technology lets light rain beat up and roll right off. Layer up and stay on the job longer without getting drenched. Get your Carhartt Rain Defender sweatshirts at all 3 of our Edmonton job site workwear locations.
Job site workwear, tough different tough jobs.
Start thinking spring road trips and off-road trips in your new Subaru Crosstrek. Stylish, rugged, and so many features. Standard on every Crosstrek. Subaru symmetrical all-wheel drive, EyeSight driver assist technology, heated seats, and LED steering responsive headlights. Plus, with interest rates from 0.99%, you'll love the affordable weekly payment. No waiting, immediate delivery available. Subaru Crosstrek. Visit Subaru.ca. Welcome to Uncommon. Welcome to Subaru.
Irrelevant Saskatchewan history. Kevin's got it. But first, catch the exclusive interviews and stories nobody else has. The Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440.
Welcome back to the big program. 8:23 in Edmonton. Kevin Karius, Sadie Steele, Duke of Delburne with you. Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio. The Kevin Karius Show is presented by Sports Select. If you like the paper selection slip, we got you covered there too. Instead of the QR code, we can do that. No problem. Just go to your local Lotto Spot retailer. It's 100% legal. You got to be 18 plus. Please play responsibly. At the World Curling Championship yesterday, Carrie Anderson had a really good tournament, but Xenia Schwaller, hell of a rink, hell of a team, hell of a week. Won 7-5 last night in the gold medal game. So a silver, for Canada. Just so close again. Matt Fitzpatrick comes back and wins the Valspar. So he just loses the players coming down the stretch, wins at the Valspar. And the old snake pit, Eddie. Would you be able to handle the snake pit 16, 17, 18? No.
Come
Eddie,
on.
that snake pit would eat you up.
No, it wouldn't.
It would gobble you up and spit you out.
Par, bogey, par.
Double, triple.
Oil
Kings beat the Calgary Hitmen yesterday 7-1. They handed out the hardware for all the MVP awards, best defenseman, all that stuff. The Hitmen lost that one 7-1. It was all Oil Kings, obviously, but it'll be the Oil Kings and Saskatoon, round one of the Western Hockey League playoffs. So that will be game 1 Friday here at Rogers Place, game 2 on Sunday. And again, we mentioned the Raptors lost to the Suns 120-98. Jackson Smith and Jigba, largest contract for a wide receiver. What are your thoughts on that, Eddie? That's big. I mean, he led the league. He was close to getting 2,000 yards.
Yeah, he was.
Just had 1,800, faltered a bit down the stretch, but man.
Young. That's
24.
what's nice. Yeah, he's so
24.
young. And to take off to secure him up at this point in his career, it's a good thing. They have a really good thing going over there in Seattle in terms of their offense. And Darnold, it's amazing. They let Walker walk. Yeah. But it's the case when you're a running back in the NFL, hey? Not much love at the position.
I mean, it's a far cry from what Walker got as an AAV at 15 or so. So we're talking 27 more million a year here. And that just goes to show you, mama, don't let your babies grow up to be running backs.
No. And for our audience, specifically here in Edmonton and the surrounding regions, if your kids, but I guess specifically boys, are playing football, make them be offensive linemen. Canadian offensive linemen get paid. Yeah. Get paid, Kevin, significantly more than other Canadian positions.
Oh, for sure.
Significantly more.
But, I mean, if you're like a good defensive back,
you'll fetch good money.
Some cash.
But that's the one of one, like a Tyrell Ford. Yeah. He's a defensive back, Canadian, making big coin, really big coin. But when we're talking on average, oh man,
but
6th, 7th O lineman, the backups get paid handsomely.
The other thing too, Eddie, is that there's a better chance, like if you're, from behind the garlic curtain, as I call it, like that's, some little smaller towns where you're behind the garlic curtain.
Yeah.
There's a good chance that you're going to be a bigger guy and you have the opportunity to
built farm strong.
Yes. I always remember the King, Ronnie Dosdall. He said he used to say when they were playing Kamsack in the provincial championships, the Kamsack high school team, their offensive line was bigger than the Riders.
Man, some of these boys that I've played against, the strongest, best offensive linemen I've played against are farm guys. Weyburn, Saskatchewan, exactly. Brett Jones, Brendan Labatt. Yeah. Just built different, man. Built different.
Yeah, exactly. Text 833-401. 1440. Right now, Eddie was mentioning the playoff positioning in the Pacific. And, the best quote that Connor had on Saturday was about it being a pillow fight in the Pacific Division. And
some great honesty.
It really is. It's just pathetic. I'm going to say this one thing, though. It is pathetic. But I'm going to give the Anaheim Ducks some props here. I'm going to give the Ducks some props, Duke. And here's why. Everyone talks about how how tilted things are in the West. And they talk about the Central Division. And Colorado, great season. Dallas, great season. Minnesota Wild, great season. Don't look at the stats, Eddie. Don't look. And have you? I know you probably looked.
No. So I took my eyes off.
And like Billy Guerin was talking about, well, there's no way that the top two, the second best team and the third best team in the league should be playing each other in the first round. Okay, well, that's fallen off now.
Yes,
because Tampa is taking a step up. Buffalo's taking a step up. Carolina's taking a step up. Focusing on the Minnesota Wild. Again, Billy Guerin. Well, everyone. Minnesota's the third best team in the league. You know how many wins they have?
I haven't looked, but I'm going to say 40.
They got 40.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Bang on, Eddie. Good job.
Cool.
Okay. Now, the Anaheim Ducks, you know how many wins they have?
Don't they have 41?
They're 39.
Okay.
They're 39 with a game in hand. Okay. So the Anaheim Ducks have just as many wins.
Good for them.
As Minnesota. So you have to give the Ducks. After that, then it is.
Then it's the pathetic.
It's garbage. Vegas has 32. Edmonton's got 34. And then the rest don't score.
In the Ducks, they're a good team. And are the Ducks, they would be considered ahead of schedule this season.
Yes.
So it's promising. It's a promising future. Young too.
The LA Kings, Eddie, could get into the playoffs. They're 2 points back right now of Nashville. They have 28 wins on the year. 28.
Jeez. It's a tough look, man. It's a tough look for the division.
They are in a playoff position because of 17 overtime losses.
What's going to be really crazy is if and when the Oils get into the playoffs and get out of the first round potentially, can they go on that run? Can they flick that switch?
Switch flicker.
Because at that point in time, if you get out of the first round, you only have 14 more games to go. You never know.
Dozen wins to go. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Like, again, I've always said, if you can get to the Final Four, to me, that's a successful season. That's a successful season to get to the Final Four because it's so hard to win. That doesn't count this year for the Oilers because the Pacific is so bad. Like, if you can't win 2 rounds of playoffs here, if you can't win 2 rounds of playoffs against these teams that you're going to be facing in round 1 and round 2, I'll be honest, you don't deserve to make the playoffs.
So based off what you're seeing, can you see them winning 2 rounds?
Absolutely. Just because of who they're going to play. They can easily beat Vegas if they play Vegas.
Yeah.
They can easily beat Anaheim. But it wouldn't surprise me if Anaheim beat it either.
I was just going to say Anaheim will give them more fits, I believe.
But if things go the way they are right now, it wouldn't surprise me because Utah would play Anaheim in the round 1.
Right.
And it wouldn't surprise me if Utah beat Anaheim in round 1.
Yeah, this is the year to be lucky here in the Pacific.
Yeah.
Lucky.
NCAA last night, the Dukes pick. Florida loses to Iowa 73-72. Duke. Was there a tear in your beer last night when that bucket went down?
No, there was no tear in my beer, but it was certainly disappointing. And in the fashion, I mean, hey, give March Madness a lot of credit here through the first 4 days, as we talked about it. Many of our guests have talked about it. It's kind of the national narrative that this tournament has lost a little bit because the chances of big upsets and Cinderella stories seem to have waned in the NIL era. Man, if you were actually watching the games this weekend, even though a lot of the favorites still won, the finishes going all the way back to Friday morning with Kentucky, basically essentially back-to-back buzzer beaters to beat Santa Clara. That was an unreal game, and it hasn't kind of slowed down since then. It's been awesome. 4 really good days of basketball. We were Saturday after we were done curling inside the Delburne curling rink, sitting there watching the afternoon waste away. Things like, man, I really should leave and just go home. And sitting there with my buddy Lundy, who I went to school with at the U of A. He lives up in GP now. Came down to curl with some friends. He's sitting there, and we were watching Michigan State, and the line was 5, and they were up 10 with like 2 minutes left. And he's sitting there. He's like, man, I should have emptied the account on Michigan State in this game because he had him at -5, but it was a responsible bet. And he said, and the words were not even out of his mouth yet. He's like, man, I should have emptied the account on this. He's like, I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said that. What do you know? I can't even remember who they were playing. They made it close. They ended up covering the 5 points, but it became much closer with only a couple minutes left than it should have been. Almost like an instant jinx on himself.
That's how it goes, man.
It was worth a very good laugh, and that was my cue to get up and leave a short time later.
So I didn't get to watch it a lot on the weekend because of travel, but I did last night when I got home, and I ended up watching Alabama a little bit. They play Michigan next in the Sweet 16 here. Michigan will be favored, but if Alabama, all they did was throw 3 balls, and that's
all they do.
So just watching, if they can be successful and have a decent percentage, they could win, man.
Yeah.
Because the way
they chuck them up,
they won't even go if they've got a jumper in the paint or they just
they won't take it.
Let's kick it out and we'll go for 3. And last night they were dropping.
Yeah.
So.
No, they'll chuck them up. They burned me.
Yeah.
They burned me yesterday.
Oh, yeah. Are you in last place in the
easy, Kevin? Sitting T10?
T10?
Yeah, T10.
So
I'm feeling pretty good.
Who's your winner?
Duke.
Oh, of course it is.
I'm feeling pretty good overall, to be honest. I'm in a good place.
I think I got all except for one correct going to the Sweet 16. I believe it is Illinois.
Biden and
I didn't have Illinois going, but other than that, I'm relatively happy. And once Houston wins it all, I'll be happy.
Ain't happening.
Why not?
Not happening, KK.
It could happen, Eddie, and you
The
know
Duke Blue Devils.
And you know it. MTR, of course, is Purdue still alive. They barely won, right? Yeah, they barely won. MTR's hanging by a thread. Hanging by a thread.
Clip that thread.
When we come back, I guess we'll go in or out with Eddie Steele. It's the Kevin Karius Show with the Duke of Delburne. Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio, presented by Sports Select. We're also streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. We're the #1 dealer in the world. Just kidding. If we were, would you care? We're the #1 dealer in Canada. Still kidding. You probably still don't care. Tell you what you will care about, our March Madness sale going on right now. Discounts up to $30,000. And the grand opening of our Autoplex, a massive indoor showroom. No self-proclaimed titles, no iPads, no trips to Vegas or hockey jerseys, just a really good deal. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
For the first time in 66 years, Golden Bears and Pandas hockey are on the move. During the 2026-27 Canada West season, two of the most successful hockey programs in U Sports history will call Silent Ice Center in Nisku their temporary home. The Golden Bears and Pandas are excited to connect with the South Edmonton community and welcome new fans to experience the tradition and excitement of U of A hockey. Same tradition, new temporary home. Golden Bears and Pandas hockey at Silent Ice Center for the 26-27 season.
Booster Juice is going crazy for hazelnuts.
No, not crazy. Nuts.
Booster Juice is going bananas for hazelnuts.
I mean, there are bananas in smoothies, but that's not the point.
Banana juice is booster for hazelnuts.
What? Just stop.
Booster Juice is going nuts for hazelnut. Introducing the Nutty Monkey Smoothie, Holy Hazelnut Acai Bowl, and Nutty Booster Ball, all made with rich, creamy hazelnut spread. Try them today, only at Booster Juice. Canadian born, blending since 1999.
Do you listen to sports radio at work? Like right now? Well, do you?
Who, me? No way. I swear.
Okay, friend, we won't tell. Tens of thousands of sports fans listen to Sports 1440 each and every day. On the radio, on the listening apps, on YouTube, and on social media. If you listen to Sports 1440 at work, well, maybe it's time to advertise on Sports 1440 at work. Grow your business. Get your name out there. Shoot our ad team an email. Gregor@sports1440.ca. Let's get to work for you.
Divorce is never easy, but Fairway Divorce Solutions can help.
Their clear step-by-step process addressed all our issues, and we moved through the process quickly.
Fairway didn't take sides. They saved us money and heartache.
My ex, the kids, and I feel like we'll all be okay.
At Fairway Divorce Solutions, trained mediators and in-house lawyers will move your divorce process forward in a professional and efficient manner to achieve a fair resolution and separation agreement. Visit fairwaydivorce.com.
This hockey season, before every game, check out the pregame show with Andrew Walker on Sports 1440. It's brought to you by Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Visit titansupply.ca.
Hey, I'm Ryan Reynolds, and if you're like me, you never stop wondering what the future holds. The one thing I do know is that you'll be able to enjoy my maple butter glazed donut at Tim Hortons because it's so fluffy and delicious that it'll never come off the menu. Never, ever, ever. Try it today at Tim's.
The weather doesn't care about your shift or your schedule. Carhartt Rain Defender sweatshirts let you battle back against the ever-changing elements. Carhartt's durable water-repellent technology lets light rain beat up and roll right off. Layer up and stay on the job longer without getting drenched. Get your Carhartt Rain Defender sweatshirts at all three of our Edmonton job site workwear locations.
Job site workwear, tough jobs.
Whoa, I gotta put some money on the game tonight. We hit our monthly budget. Whoa, how did you get in here? I'm you, the responsible you. We're right. We'll play another time. Sounds more like us.
If you gamble, use your game sense. Visit GameSenseAB.ca.
Have your sports curiosity cured with the Kevin Karius Show. This is Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 841 in Edmonton. Kevin Karius, Eddie Steele, Duke of Delburne with you. Josh Fenwick as well on Sports 1440 AM radio. Show's presented by Sports Select, and it is time right now for In or Out, brought to you by Pro Solutions. If you need fast air conditioning service, Pro Solutions offers expert repairs, tune-ups, and installs with flexible financing. Book your appointment now at prosolutionsinc.ca.
Okay, you know what? Moving too fast. Bottom line, are you in or are you out?
In or out of what?
No time for questions, just action. In or out?
Well, then I'm out.
I'm sorry, Jet. Actually, you're already in.
Are you in or are you out?
On Sports 1440.
I thought you would go, I'm in, Bob. We would have had a really cool moment, but you kind of ruined the whole thing.
All right, Duke, Letterbuck.
Rewinding to Saturday night, Edmonton Oilers losing at the hands of the Tampa Bay Lightning. Lots of things to take from the contest start to finish, but watching it back, I think it was the Oilers' best players that came up the shortest against one of the league's best teams.
Sure, I'm going to go in on this one. 100 per, Duke. Opportunities were there on that 5-on-3 again. You score there, it's 2-2 instead of it being 3-1. Kucherov was by far and away the best player on the ice in a head-to-head matchup with Connor McDavid. He won the matchup easily. He was the best player on the ice by far. Not even close.
Wow.
Well, you disagreeing with that?
Not one bit. Nothing else needs to be said out of this camp.
No, you got to say it. I mean,
I'm in for sure. It was the Oilers.
But I mean, I think Duke's also looking at the other. So like guys like Braden Point, as
a whole,
Hagel, and think of the guy. Think of Cirelli, who gets hurt in the Podkolzin fight, and he's gone for the game. He comes back, scores the empty netter.
In the context of the question, yes, it was the Oilers' best players who came up short. The best players need to be the best in, game out, and they're not on this team. One thing that was quite it surprised me was that the goal differential for the top points getters, Kucherov and McKinnon, and what was it? Connor is -3. Well, the whole line was -3. No. Overall, Connor's +11. You said?
When you're talking about 5v5
5v5 scoring,
when you compare it between Kucherov and McKinnon, it's not even remotely close.
I was shocked that there was that much of a spread between Connor and the other guys.
Evan Bouchard had a tough game. I mean, Hyman had a tough game. Nugent
Talk about
Hopkins had a
Nuge
tough
already.
game. I mean, again, and that goes back to the Florida game where when it's 3-0, and I was saying, you got to move these lines around. Like, you move these lines around for fun to start the game after the win against San Jose. Move them back to what it was against San Jose. The opportunity was there to have the exact same lines besides Jarventi.
No team is going to have success when their best don't show up.
It's funny they bring up the line thing, Kevin, because this is clearly something that Chris Knobloch likes to do is throw things in a blender and at a moment's notice, and he doesn't. He's essentially been taken away the option of the nuclear line without Leon Draisaitl in the lineup. And according to Natural Stat Trick, they only ran 4 line combinations at 5-on-5 in the hockey game. Right. And they remain the same the whole time. And of those 4, the top line of RNH, McDavid, and Hyman is the only one that was negative in scoring chances for versus against at 5-on-5. And they were doubled 12-6. That's your best line. Special teams wise, the power play could not get it done. The penalty kill obviously gives up the one, and it was a poor play by Bouchard committing to Kucherov at the flank. Yeah, and even to an extent like the Ekholm, like take your pick of just the top players, and they were not nearly good enough across the board when you would think, like, as you said, Kucherov, the best player in the game, rise to that occasion, playing against the other best players in the league, in McDavid and, when Draisaitl's playing. The Oilers this time around did not answer that challenge in really any shape or form.
Like Hagel missed time when he was hit by Nurse. So he missed a few shifts, a few minutes. Cirelli missed time, so there, the other thing too, like at what point would you have gone, you know what, to be honest with you, Roslovic, Nugent Hopkins, and Dickinson were pretty good.
Yeah.
Let's put those guys back together. Let's move Savoy back up to where he was
McDavid.
with Connor and Zach Hyman. Let's run with those two lines, and then figure out again how you had Szymanski between the two big Sows and put Colson and Kapanen and figure out your fourth line.
Yeah, it was seemingly a little bit. And you mentioned Cirelli. Yeah, he gets hurt in the game and comes back and then makes a great play, defensive play, and then scores the empty net goal from 150 feet away. So
exactly. Yeah.
Really commendable for the Lightning, who, as we said, we knew they were one of the best teams coming in. I thought they really showed it. Everyone from Kucherov up front to Vasilevsky in the net, maybe save the Josh Szymanski's first NHL goal, which I wasn't aware the NHL scored it like this. When you look at NHL.com, Kev, you go down on like the scoring summary, it says own goal.
I saw that too.
It says own goal in big red letters right there, just like it would a shorthanded or a power play marker.
Or like in soccer, they do.
Yeah, that's how they classify them.
I don't know if they need to have that on there. Poor bugger gets his first goal.
My one buddy, he's a Tampa Bay fan. He was obviously watching the game pretty intently Saturday. He didn't come to the game. We watched it from home, and he texted our group chat. I was like, that has to be the worst first goal maybe in NHL history.
I don't know if there's the only other thing you think of own goals, like the biggest own goal in the history of hockey.
Steve Smith.
Yeah, and you know who got credit for it?
No.
Yeah, Perry Berezan.
Okay.
Yeah.
On to number 2. Speaking of best players, Edmonton's very best player and the captain, of course, Connor McDavid. He had some comments post game that did raise a number of eyebrows across the sporting world. Everybody's reading into it from Toronto to right here in Edmonton and everywhere in between and beyond. What's your concern level, Kevin? What's your concern level with how this is shaking out on a simple scale from 1 to 10? 10 being red alert, red alarm. I'm putting it at a 3.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. To be honest with you, and a question I think that if people are questioning the captain and Connor on his comments, should the question not be today, Connor, after seeing your comments, hearing them, and after 2 days here, what were the comments? What was your purpose? What was
the intent?
Or were you complimenting your coach in the Olympic team, or were you throwing shade to your own coaching staff? And he will say, well, yeah, you guys are taking this out of context, man.
For sure, he'll say that.
It might even be lower than 3 from Connor's perspective.
Man, I like you today. You're bringing some hip terms, man. He says throwing shade, dude. He out here calling you fellas his brothers. I like it, KK.
Would you like to know where I got that from? And I'll give credit.
Okay.
I'll give credit.
Give it then.
Because we talked about this Friday and there was not credit when credit was due.
Okay.
Mark Spector, column, first line. Did Connor McDavid throw shade at his head coach after the Tampa game, or was he innocently paying respect to his Olympic coach, John Cooper? So I'll give credit on that.
Kev, I speak on the topic of credit and spec after last week when you accosted him on air about not giving you credit for whatever line that was.
Had their hearts ripped out.
Yeah, hearts ripped out. I couldn't help but notice in Spec's Saturday night column, the interline pathetic division.
Oh, no.
Hey,
we never came up with that here. That's been
that's what I was about to say. I was like, I don't know
but
if
you went on it,
but you said it a lot after the from Wednesday through Friday last week. It was the term of the the flavor of the second half of the week here.
The influence that you have.
You got to start putting trademarks on stuff.
The influence that you have.
Yeah,
wrapping
Spec
sticks around
might
the
happen to
necks.
be CCing you on all of his
gotta
columns
start
here.
getting
Moving
a
Talking
forward.
about commission, huh?
Yeah, I could be making some coin today off Spec, off Eddie.
Eddie, sorry, you're
Yeah, I'm
about
gonna
the same
go a
here?
little bit higher. No, I'm gonna go level of concern. I'm actually gonna go 5 of 10.
Why?
And only because, funny enough, Spec was brought up. He said a line in his hit earlier where how often do we see a team on the losing end complimenting the other team? And I get back thinking of my playing days with all the respect that I had for a team like Calgary, and it's the CFL. It's an old boys club. You get coached by so many of the same faces. I couldn't imagine after a loss paying compliments to the other team the way Connor did. I really couldn't. If you stuck a mic, you'd say, yeah, they're well coached, good team, but that's it. That's about as much as you would get out of me after a loss. So to go on and actually dig in and say what Connor said, man, maybe there is something there. So I will say a 5.
So I landed at 3 for the sake of, I don't think it's nothing, but I think if I had to try and peg it with one word, I would just say it's frustration. And that's where I think it's kind of coming through with Connor, that this season has not gone really well at much of any point. They've won 3 games in a row one time.
Wow.
For a team that went to back-to-back Stanley Cup finals. And yes, they play in this poor division. They're very likely to still make the playoffs and give themselves a chance. But I think right now it's just kind of boiling over a little bit for him, on the sake of, he is the captain. He has to talk to the media every game, every practice, essentially. I think that's where I land on it for whatever that is worth. But elsewhere around the sporting world, Toronto Blue Jays this morning announcing extensions for both general manager Ross Atkins and the bench manager John Schneider, despite coming off about as heartbreaking of a loss as you can have. Game 7 of the World Series, extra innings. We were all captivated. And opening week is here yet again in the major leagues, which is kind of crazy to say already. I'm sorry. I think these extensions come prematurely.
And both are 5-year deals?
No. John
Atkins
Schneider's
is 5?
is shorter. John Schneider's is 2 years.
Atkins is 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Most field managers never get.
They don't pair it
term.
the
They
same.
don't get term like that. I'm okay with Schneider's 2-year deal. I think I'm okay with that one, Duke. Atkins at 5. I'll go with you on that one.
Premature? Too long?
Yeah, maybe like a little bit of both. But when I look at how the team has been assembled by Atkins, I mean he's made some decent moves, but he's almost like Stan Bowman here. I mean, Santander could go down as one of the worst signings in history.
Yeah. Are you
And there
done?
were warning signs too.
Are you done your response?
Sure, yeah. So I'll go. I'm okay with Schneider, but I'm not okay with Atkins.
I'm gonna be. I think it was a little premature, but if not now, when? The team is just coming off of Game 7 of a World Series loss. I agree with you on the Atkins.
Yeah.
I
like Schneider. I don't know. Some people don't like him.
No, some people don't like him. So the 2 years makes sense. I thought it would be a little more in line with the GM's deal. So that makes me believe that the GM's is a little bit long. Yeah. But with that being said, Atkins has been like, he's in on everybody, every major player out there, free agent. He's sniffing around. So that's a good sign to have an active GM who's out there and, engaging in most opportunities.
I agree with you, Eddie, in the sense that there were you talk about Ohtani, you talk about Tucker.
He's sniffing around.
At least he's trying. Like, the thing is, not many GMs have an open checkbook. He's got another. Rogers is paying whatever they want.
I was going to kind of finish up with that.
That's like that is like the golden goose when it comes to writing checks, man.
Exactly.
So you have the affordability to do basically whatever you want. Having said that, it's still tougher to kind of draw people to Toronto. Like, if everyone, like, you want to go to LA, Tucker's wanted to, like, think about Ohtani. These deals were just as good here, man.
Yeah. Keep winning. Keep winning, and players
Yeah,
will
that-
want to show
you're
up.
right, yeah.
You have
I
to
mean,
keep winning.
The buildings,
They're doing
building's
renos,
nice.
sustaining it.
Everything's good. yeah.
State of the art.
I think again, I would like to know what the Bichette offer was, if how close it was to whatever, and it might have been the same, maybe more. And if it's what more would they have needed to get him back? Because that's going to be the one, like the one area where they're going to look down the road and go, man, if we just had Bo,
If we had that,
we would have had Bo. Still, Okamada's swinging the bat well, but Jimenez is short over Bo to me. Jimenez is going to run a lot this year. You watch, going to run.
My only real thing here, I'm definitely more okay with the John Schneider extension because it's clear that this team has a very good clubhouse vibe, right? You hear all these new additions coming, the way they speak about the culture and the environment. And I think John Schneider, having come up with a lot of these guys through the system, right? And coaching at Buffalo before here, I think that matters a lot. But with the Atkins thing, so he's been on the job 10 years now.
Mm-hmm.
His first season, they win a couple playoff rounds, but let's call a spade, right? That was a largely all spillover from the previous regime.
Mm-hmm.
The year previous, they'd also went to the CS. Before he had not won a playoff round in the 10 years between until this season. And you go all the way to the World Series. That's great. Baseball, it's really hard to do. His overall record just above 500 as a GM. But like you pointed out, Kevin, when you have the resources that Toronto does, and you can't you're not the Dodgers, you can't spend to the limit and beyond every single season. You're going to have down years. They did that pretty well. But there's also still very little to show for it in terms of tangible results until this 1 year. You have 1 year of tangible results. And so all of a sudden say it's tough because you don't necessarily want guys on lame duck deals and what it could entail I'm much more comfortable with my GM in a lame duck season than a bench coach.
Like you got to look too, Duke. Like, so he did get the Vladdy deal done, brings in Okamoto, does get the Cease deal done. And to get Ponce, he had other opportunities to go other places. The bullpen's pretty good, Duke. So,
well, it's thinned out now because of all these injuries to the starters, but that happens. It's the game. I'm not trying to be intentionally negative, but I once again look at it, and we had the same type of conversation at the start of this year with the Oilers when all of a sudden every player that was coming in on an expiring deal, let's get them all extended, but then before the season even starts, for what? And I think at this point there might be some of those that all of a sudden you're looking back at and saying, could have waited a little bit longer here and maybe done a little bit more evaluating in the time in between.
Not Fred says, I disagree, Kevin. Bichette has 1 or 2 good years left with injuries. He's on the decline. Wasn't worth what he was paid. He'll be a DH in 2 years.
It's bold.
Very bold.
Bold proclamation.
For a young guy.
Over to the NFL, reigning Offensive Player of the Year, Jackson Smith-Njigba, signing extension in Seattle, makes him the highest paid receiver in NFL history. Good title to have. I think it's going to be pretty short-lived. Puka Nacua next up on this market, and I think his next deal that he's going to sign, presumably in the coming days, weeks, months at the longest, I'd have to think, will surpass it and become the new richest deal for a wide receiver.
You do, huh?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be level, like similar.
I think it'll be similar, but I think it'll be a higher AAV.
Like just a tad more.
Yeah. Just to say he's the highest paid because his track record is much longer than JSN's. JSN had the draft stock and profile coming out of college. Sure, the pedigree. Nacua, a little bit more of a gem, but in the seasons in the league, since he was a rookie, like Nakua's, it's been unstoppable for 3 years straight.
Yeah, I get you. So would you say, like, what do we say? He's at 42 and change here. So you're saying like 43?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm saying easily.
Yeah.
Puka's easily going to top this. Easily.
But I don't think it'll be by much.
I think it'll be pretty significant.
You're saying like 4 or 5 million?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't see that much.
The production.
So
that
you're saying
Puka's had.
47 AAV.
Yeah, the AAV might, if we're going off AAV or total, it depends because you could get tricky with it.
Well, Puka signs a 4-year deal. That's what this one is, right?
Yeah, I guess if you want to look at AAV, but the way it's structured, the guarantee, Puka could get way more guaranteed money, right? You just talked about JSN saying we're right around 120 guaranteed.
Yeah.
Puka could fetch 140 guaranteed, but still have roughly the same AAV, right? So it breaks down differently, but Puka's is going to be bigger. The production.
I think they'll just be similar.
I think I'm more aligned with you here, Kevin, where like these numbers get so big, and when you're the Rams, you're kind of up against it a little bit financial wise. And he clearly, I mean, how can you ask for a better spot than continue to play with Matt Stafford, even if it is for only another year or two? But I'll be honest, I have such a hard time with contracts in the NFL because every time it's they restructured the deal, kicked the can down the road, made it tomorrow's problem instead of today's, on and on and on. It never stops in the NFL. And as a fan, I find that maybe the most frustrating part of the sport and of the league. But at the same, so they'll make him the richest receiver and then readdress it. And who knows, maybe when Stafford retires, all of a sudden they're going to have a rookie quarterback. They can keep paying him $45 million a year. But on an AAV sense, I do think it'll be a bigger number for no reason other than him saying, dude, my track record's better than his. I definitely should make more money than him.
I'll say 42.5.
All right. 42.5. Write that down, Eddie.
No,
so we can come back and check it so Kevin can take another victory lap on us. He's got quite a few already bagged so far this year. Lastly, today is National Bear Day. Answering the age-old question originally posed in the cold open of The Office where Jim impersonates Dwight. What type of bear is best?
Go ahead, Kevin.
I always go last.
I think it's the polar bear.
The polar
bear. Polar bear rocks.
There's 8 different types of bear species, and I'm going to tell you them.
Well, Eddie did his research. This guy's coming.
There's the American black.
Okay.
There's the brown bear.
Right.
The polar bear, Duke's favorite.
Sure.
The Asiatic black bear.
Okay.
The Andine bear. The giant panda. Up there high on my list. The sun bear. But finally, the last category, and this is my favorite because it reminds me exactly of you, Kevin. The sloth.
Oh, come on now. Come on now.
The sloth.
And you missed it because I think of you missed one more because I think of Eddie in this category. The big old teddy bear.
Oh, Teddy Eddie.
Hey.
Yes,
Teddy
Kevin.
bear,
Well
Eddie
played.
Steele. Okay. How close have you been to a grizzly bear?
Not close.
Yeah.
Like within eyesight.
Okay. What about a black bear?
Close. Very
How
close.
good are your eyes, Eddie?
Yeah.
How close did you have to be to see them?
Yeah, black bear's really close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Black bears, like, there's you
Like
don't
on the
have
side of the road going to Jasper, Banff and stuff.
Yeah.
Seeing some baby bears crossing the highway. So cute.
He's even out in the woods and in the toba.
I'll tell you what, when we go fishing up north, there's like the bear hunters come from all over to go to Dipper. You hear when you go out for a leak at night and you hear something, man, then you start thinking, and then like what they do is they put plywood and with nails, so the nails pointed up, so just in case on a few
Some
areas
spikes.
where they like, even like if you go to the outhouse and you hear something,
man.
you always start
They're
thinking.
creeping out there.
Yeah. So you're saying
sloth or panda?
Can't say sloth.
Come on, Eddie.
Why not? Why not?
Sloth. That is such a lame answer. And also, here's panda bears. They're adorable. They're hilarious. They should be extinct.
They're like Wagyu beef.
And not in some ways because of human impact, but just through Darwinism. They should be extinct.
They're just fat little. They are the live teddy bear.
They don't do anything.
They just, their meat is like Wagyu, just fat and nothing.
I would say probably the grizzly for me.
Yeah, if we're talking, keeping it real grizzly.
it serious,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, polar bear's bigger than a grizzly bear.
Man,
It's the largest land predator on Earth.
Yeah, those grizzlies, Duke.
Listen, I'm not disagreeing with you.
Are they as aggressive as grizzlies?
Have you seen a polar bear?
Yes, Eddie. Polar bears are way more aggressive. Polar bears will go in and hunt people.
Yeah. Have you seen a polar bear?
No.
You never went to Churchill?
Never went up to Churchill.
Duke?
No, I've never seen one. Did they have them in the zoo? They have them in Calgary?
Well, yeah, I've seen it. Okay, we're not.
Which
Come
is-
on, we're not
which is
talking.
pretty
the zoo.
depressing, but fun fact, maybe you know this, polar bear's fur isn't actually white. It's clear. It just appears white based on their skin.
Well, thanks, Duke.
Tim says, come on, man. And you're the Chicago Bears.
Oh,
The Bears.
Dub Bears. If we're going that way, then I'm going Golden Bears. The only panda bears I like are the U of A panda bears.
I would take Gooba.
Because Gooba's the best.
Well,
bear.
I would take Gooba because for many, many years it was
Not
Bob
Patches?
It was Bob Stauffer.
Okay.
Well, it was. You guys
No,
didn't know
it
that?
wasn't.
Absolutely was Bob in there.
No, it wasn't.
You want to know how many times Bob was the mascot? Gooba?
Twice.
Oh, more than that.
Wow.
I have it on good authority.
I love it. Love it.
Also, Eddie, I'm surprised you didn't try and pull this out, but clearly the Wikipedia page you brought up educated you. A koala bear, not actually a bear. They're a marsupial.
Yeah, that's Eddie. Eddie, you old marsupial. What's on the go today, Eddie?
Just going down to shoot the pod, then a little bit of work.
Yeah.
Today, we're not interviewing anyone today. Probably just a lot of catch ups, talk some March
Love the way we
Madness.
kept you 5 minutes longer and just kept talking.
I know. I already texted the guys.
Did you?
I texted them when I saw that it was about 8:58 and we were still on question 3.
I love the way Duke does that. Just on my
The way Duke does it, eh, Duke? The way Duke does it.
We never do it on Fridays.
Oh, you lie like a rug,
No,
Kevin
because Fridays
Karius.
we want to get going. Like
Yeah, right, Kevin.
we usually have a 9 o'clock guest on Fridays.
I've just learned to let it go, Kevin.
Duke, why do you you didn't know that?
I do know it because the first thing I do when I get in my car is you pop on. And welcome back to the big program.
All right, Eddie. Well, have a great show with Declan, Elks Nation.
Yes, sir. KK, appreciate you, buddy.
We'll see you on Friday, big fella.
See you Friday, man.
Have a great week. That's Eddie Steele. And I never got to say it off the top because we sort of were talking about Jesse Pierce and things like that. But Grey Cup champion from 2015, all-decade team, and all-century team in U Sports. They had leather helmets and everything. Coming up in the 9 o'clock hour, we're going to switch gears a little bit. We'll talk to Stefan Rosner from the Hockey News, covers the New York Islanders. Big win for the Isles yesterday. They're just fighting for a playoff spot. In the 10 o'clock hour, Eric Smith from the Toronto Raptors will discuss their game tonight in Utah and last night's loss against the Suns. And Scott Maxwell from the Daily Faceoff, also in the 10 o'clock hour. Before all that, time now for a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fusion Promo Marketing. Expand your brand, man. High quality promotional products for businesses, sports teams, even corporate events. Get noticed at fusionpromomarketing.ca. Hey, that's Fusion with a Z. Here is the Duke.
The Sports 1440 update.
9 games across the NHL yesterday, including the Avalanche beating the Capitals 3-2 in overtime. Canes get past the Penguins 5-1. Predators pick up a crucial extra point, beating the Hawks 3-2 in overtime. Islanders blank the Jackets 1-0. Elias Rokkan's 7th shutout of the season. Vegas over the Stars 3-2. Tampa losing in Calgary 4-3 in OT. Ducks and Sabres back and forth affair. Anaheim takes it 6-5 in overtime. And the nightcap, Utah over LA 4-3, also in overtime. Across the association, 5 games, including the Raptors losing in Phoenix 120-98. Devin Booker leading the way in that one with 25 points for Phoenix. And across March Madness, final Sunday of the opening weekend, defending champion Florida goes down to number 9 Iowa 73-72. Other teams picking up wins and advancing through to the Sweet 16. Arizona, Purdue, Iowa State, UConn, Tennessee, St. John's, and Alabama. From this morning, reigning offensive player of the year in the NFL, Jackson Smith-Njigba has a new deal with the Seattle Seahawks. 4 years, $168.6 million, making him the highest paid receiver in NFL history. And in the majors, ahead of opening day later this week, the Blue Jays extending general manager Ross Atkins with a 5-year deal and bench manager John Schneider with a 2-year extension. Coming up in hour 3 of the Kevin Karius Show, we'll be joined by Stefan Rosner from the Hockey News covering the New York Islanders. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique family-owned independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Today on Hey Culligan, how smart is your water? Here's Tracy.
Hey, Culligan. I think my water might be dumb.
Good news, Tracy. Your water's not dumb. It's just not talking to you.
You can make my water talk.
No, but the new Culligan Smart Drinking Water System can talk to your phone to tell you when your water filters need changing and help you meet drinking water goals.
Now that's some brilliant H2O.
You said it, Tracy, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test from a local Culligan water expert at culligan.ca.
What if you could hire motivated, safety-trained youth with no risk and funding to support you? At Careers the Next Generation, we make hiring easy with funded internships across Alberta in trades, IT, forestry, and more. Interns are WCB covered, complete high school accredited safety trained, and arrive ready to contribute from day one. With 42% of RAP students completing their apprenticeship by age 22, you get skilled workers faster. Spots are filling up. Visit careersnextgen.ca today.
Business owners, if rising electricity costs are cutting into your profits, there's a smarter way forward. Right now, federal clean technology tax credits can cover 30 to over 50% of the cost of a commercial solar system, delivering an immediate return on your investment. And in Edmonton and Sturgeon County, the Commercial Clean Energy Improvement Program offers long-term financing for up to 20 years, making solar more affordable than ever. Lock in lower energy costs for decades and strengthen your bottom line. Visit GreatCanadianSolar.com to get started.
Oh, Canada. Jiffy Lube is here to keep you moving through mornings like these. Full synthetic oil changes, quality Pennzoil products, tire checks, battery tests, and everything else your car needs to get through our winters. Stop by Jiffy Lube for fast, easy, warranty-approved service. No appointment, no hassle. Just dependable service right when you need it. Jiffy Lube, keeping you moving through this.
Running a business is tough. Finding new customers shouldn't be. Stop chasing leads. Let them come to you with Stingray, offering you access to more digital, outdoor, and traditional advertising platforms, including radio, connected TV, search and social, programmatic, digital advertising, and digital out-of-home. So while you're closing the next deal, Stingray is working for you to deliver more leads, more customers, more sales. It's that easy. Get started now at stingraymediasolutions.com and always be closing.
Stories, guests, and insights. This is Sports 1440 and the Kevin Karius Show.
All right, welcome back to the big program. Quick little segment here. Just love keeping Eddie a few extra minutes. You know, he's so jovial about it. He enjoys that extra few minutes because he wants to be part of the team. You know, he wants to, continue that good feeling that he can take over to, Declan Kruger and Elks Nation. He wants to have that feeling of emotion and positivity and be able to translate into his next little gig here over at Elks Nation. So thanks a lot, Eddie, for sticking around a couple extra minutes. We really appreciate it. Quick segment again before we get to Stefan Rosner from the Hockey News, covers the New York Islanders. Again, the Islanders come up with a big win yesterday, and they were sort of leaking here a little bit when it comes to positioning as far as a playoff playoffs go when you're looking at moving forward in the Eastern Conference. But one of the teams that was coming out, like was all over them, was Columbus. And they beat the Blue Jackets 1-0 yesterday. So that was an absolutely massive win to get in a pivotal Metro game, because those two teams are going neck and neck. Ilya Sorokin had 26 saves. So those two teams are going to be going at it neck and neck down the stretch. 85 points for the Columbus Blue Jackets, 85 points for the New York Islanders. Columbus does have a game in hand. So that's something we'll be talking about. This is going to be a hell of a race with a dozen games left. The Islanders, they probably have the better goaltender right now, although Jet Reeves is playing out of his mind in Columbus. The Islanders have some punch up front, but Columbus has Zach Werenski right now. And right now, Zach Werenski's he's closing in. What's he at? He's right on the tails of Evan Bouchard when it comes to defensive scoring leaders. Right now, he's only 4 points back. He's at 75. Bouchard's at 79. Werenski, I think, is going to win the Norris Trophy. Bouchard's going to be in the mix with Makar and Hughes. And, you can throw the likes of Rasmus Dahlin in there. He's going to get some votes. Lane Hudson in Montreal will get a few. Well, hey, we saw Darren Radish here on Saturday. He's 7th in scoring as far as defensemen go. So these are all guys that are going to be considered. Hey, our text or a question on in or out about the best bear. Cal says not just polar bears will track you, so will the Kodiaks and the Grizzlies. Yes, they will. Darcy says, my uncle thought he would scare my cousin. He ran around the bush, came face to face with a grizzly. Both scared the crap out of each other, and they both ran away. Man, that would be scary for sure. Team Dean says he saw a grizzly about 50 yards away on horseback. He was 13 years old at the time. He was crapping his pants. And Hacksaw says, hey, we forgot about Yogi Bear, Duke. Hey, boo-boo, you got any picnic baskets?
What about Scrappy? Or no.
Who?
Scrappy, Scooby-Doo.
Scooby?
What's the little bear?
I don't know.
Huh? Oh, Boo-Boo. Yeah, see, that name sucks. I like Yogi.
Yes. Barber and Peace River. Hey, fellas, I'm heading back to Peace River today from Edmonton. Will the Oilers skate this morning before leaving for Utah? Yeah, they're on the ice at 11. I would imagine after a day off, they would have pretty well everyone on the ice. And I got to just make sure on that one. As far as the schedule, they are practicing at 11, media to follow, and then they're on their way to Utah. When we come back, we're going to talk the New York Islanders with Stefan Rosner from the Hockey News and the Kevin Carey Show with the Duke of Delburne. Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM Radio. Presented by Sports Select. We're also streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Great news for your weekend project. CFI, that's Custom Floors Inc., is now open 6 days a week with Saturday hours from 10 till 2. Get top quality Canadian products from Beaulieu with the convenience you need. For your free estimate, visit CFI at customfloorsinc.ca.
Summer, it's coming. An unstoppable force that will turn your home into the Sweatbox.
Don't live in a summer blockbuster. Pro Solutions is your one-call solves-it-all expert for AC repairs, tune-ups, and new installations. With fast appointments and flexible financing, we'll make sure your home story has a comfortable ending. AC season is coming soon, so book today.
Lock in pre-season pricing today.
Visit ProSolutionsInc.ca to schedule your service today.
At Fountain Tire, the savings come in threes. Up to 25% off select tires, a mail-in rebate of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires, and $50 off a $150 service. We're basically the BLT of savings. Until April 25th. Restrictions apply. Book today.
This is Andrew Walker, host of the postgame show on Sports 1440. After every hockey game this season, tune in and chime in as we talk about the game. It's all sponsored by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Don't get left in the cold. Visit legacyheating.ca.
Yes, Alberta in March. Green beer and slushy roads. Where the only thing worse than the roads is trusting them. If your brakes are squealing louder than a pub on game night, or your shocks feel like they found potholes instead of a pot of gold, it's time to go to Napa Auto Parts. With over 85 locations in Alberta, Napa has the quality parts, tools, equipment, and know-how to keep your ride smooth and feeling confident. More than lucky. Visit your local store today or visit online at napacanada.com. That's Napa Know-How.
Camping on a long weekend without a Toyota Tacoma can feel crowded. But when you get a Tacoma during Red Tag Days, you can take advantage of its powerful iForce engine and rugged capability to find a better site. Take advantage of Red Tag Days on now. Lease a 2026 Tacoma 4x4 Double Cab SR5 from $110 weekly for 60 months at 5.99% APR with $6,899 down. Visit shoptoyota.ca or your local Prairie Toyota dealer today.
River Cree is the place for all your favorite sports. River Cree Resort and Casino, featuring UFC action and boxing live on the big screens at Tap 25, the MVP of sports bars, and in the Center Bar. Plus, catch all the biggest games, every goal, every slam dunk. River Cree is also home to the Twin Rinks, where rec hockey and community teams come to play. Public skating available. Details at rivercreeresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it.
Your game, your station. Sports 1440.
And watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
All right, welcome back to the big program. 9:21 in Edmonton. Time now for the Puck Report, brought to you by Fountain Tire. And at Fountain Tire, we focus on one thing and one thing only. It is your vehicle. From tires and wheels to oil changes and vehicle repairs, we have you covered. Visit fountaintire.com to book your appointment today as we welcome back Stefan Rossner from the Hockey News, covers the New York Islanders. Good morning, Stefan. You're with Kevin Karius. Thanks for jumping on Sports 1440 this morning. Really appreciate it.
No, I appreciate you having me. Thanks so much.
Hey, what was that game like yesterday? The 1-0 victory over Columbus, man. That must have been a real tight one and a must-needed 2 points in regulation for the Islanders, Steph.
Oh, it was huge. You look at the Ottawa game, the loss on Thursday, losing with 11.1 seconds left to go in regulation to fall out of a playoff spot. Then they get blown out late in the third period, a 7-3 loss to Montreal on Saturday. It's a huge game. I mean, they were chasing Columbus in the standings. 3 straight losses would have been brutal just for the room and everything like that. So, yeah, find a way to shut out the Columbus Blue Jackets, who are on a 12-game point streak. Pretty big win for this Islanders team.
Yeah. How good was Ilya Sorokin yesterday?
He was dominant. And I'll give the defense credit. There were a lot of blocks, a lot of key plays in front of him. But when he was asked, he came up large, tons of deflections. And this is a guy that, in Sorokin, he allowed 6 goals on 32 shots against Montreal. Why, after he saw the 6th goal goes in, pulls Sorokin for Riddick, rests him up, goes with his gut, plays Sorokin again, the second of a back-to-back. First time he's done that all year, and Sorokin rewarded him. So, I mean, if anyone knows the mental strength it takes to do that, it's Patrick Waugh. So, good move on Patrick to do that because it worked out.
Yeah, and I mean, he would know what's kind of ticking and what's clicking there and have that feel. So, how much of an advantage do you think a guy like Waugh would have in making that decision here?
Yeah, again, he knows, he understands. And for Sorokin, too, this is one of the strongest mentally tough goaltenders in the league. And to be a goalie, you have to have that. And it's been a fantastic season for Ilya, but you have to remember, too, his start to the season was pretty bad. He struggled mightily out of the gate. They fired Pierre Greco as the goalie coach. They bring up Sergei Numov, who worked with him in the KHL, who was in Bridgeport, their AHL affiliate, and everything changed. And since then, he's been a Vezina candidate. He's going to be a Vezina finalist. We'll see if he beats Al Vasilevsky, but this is the heart and soul of this team. Yes, Matthew Schaefer is a huge reason why the Islanders are in a playoff spot for now, but without Ilya Sorokin, this team might be a lottery team. He's been that good. Again, credit the defense last night and much better in front of him, but it also shows when you get solid defense, how much better this team can be in overall. 60-minute effort, probably their best 60-minute effort of the year.
Well, let's start with Matthew Schaefer here. I can't imagine how many questions that you've been asked about Schaefer this year, Stefan. I mean, this guy has, been way better than I think anyone's expected. But man, it just must be just an absolute pleasure to cover and watch this guy on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, what I always say is I've never covered a first overall pick, but I didn't expect it to go like this. Not only is he 18, not only is he playing a position that takes a little longer to develop, not only is he an offensive weapon, but he is a two-way elite defenseman. And yesterday was key in how good of a player he is in the defensive zone. Not only did he play his offside the entire game because Ryan Pulak missed the lower body, he played top minutes. He played over 26 minutes. In the third period, he played almost 10 minutes. And in the final 3 minutes, he was on the ice for the entire time. And he makes key plays in the final 30 seconds of the game, gets a key block with 8 seconds to go. Having it like that for Patrick Waugh, a bit of trust. I mean, every cup contender needs one of those guys back there. But again, he's 18. He is only going to get better. He's going to be in his prime for 15 plus years. This team's going to compete every year on the team. He's going to help bring in players in free agency, which has been a huge problem for the Islanders. Braden Shen said he waived his no trade because this is you want to go play with players like this. So I can't say enough about how good he is on the ice and for the organization, but off the ice, he's a leader in the room at 18. And the players all talk about it. He keeps the room light. He does everything a pro does, but he also has a smile on his face because this is a brand new experience for him. He's loving every second of being in the NHL. He knows the opportunity that he has for himself, and it has made this team play a youthful brand of hockey. This is a stale team, under Lou. This is a stale team that was the core was tripled down on, and it wasn't working. They bring in Darts, but Schaefer's changed everything for this organization. And again, having the impact he's had in year one, I mean, he's not going to win the Hart, but if the Islanders do make the playoffs, he's going to get a vote or two because the Islanders are not in a playoff spot without him.
Is there one area of his game, Stefan, that has impressed you more than others that maybe you weren't expecting to see?
Yeah, I think it's the physicality. I think the biggest thing for a guy like Schaefer, you've only played 17 games last year, but he's never played against adults. And he's playing a position where every other team knows that if they want to slow him down, they have to hit him. And yes, he's very good at evading hits, but at the same time, he gets drilled, he gets right back up. He's not laying on the ice, hoping his teammates come to defend him, which they do every time. Nothing phases him. And that's the thing, too. You thought maybe he'd hit a wall. Maybe his wall is still a top 10 player in this league. But maybe for a couple of games that he looked like, okay, he's struggling a little bit. But every shift, he looks back, watches video, talks to teammates, talks to coaches, and gets better for that next shift. So I wasn't expecting to see the exponential growth I think we've seen shift by shift basis. But again, he's a number one overall pick for a reason, and you can't doubt this guy. There is no ceiling because we've never seen this before.
Stefan Rosner with us from the Hockey News. So Anders Lee is a UFA next year. He's the captain of this team. Bo Horvat's a hell of a leader too. At what point does he get the C slapped on this kid's jersey? At what point? Is it after Lee? Do they have a little transition with Horvat? What are your thoughts there, Stefan?
Yeah, I think you nailed it. I think we'll see what happens with Anders Lee. I mean, they bring in Braden Shen. To me, that's a security blanket. You signed Pajot back. At first, I thought Shen was the security blanket for Pajot, but same day they signed him to a 3-year extension, so that's not the case. But I think it's a security blanket if they decide to move on from Anders Lee. He's coming off a 7x7. He's not going to get 7. How bad does Anders Lee want to be with the Islanders? I know he loves it here, but obviously you have to make a living. If Lee does leave, I think Horvat gets a C. It makes a ton of sense. Captain Vancouver. And again, Schaefer, give him the captaincy when he's 25, 24. They don't have to do it right now, which is a beautiful thing. I look at, Connor McDavid with the Oilers. To me, I think you should be in this league for 5+ years before you get that C. It's a crazy world. There's a lot of players and teammates that are a lot older than you. I don't think Schaefer needs to be the captain. He's a leader regardless whether he's an A or a C. The same thing with Barzal. Barzal's never worn an A for this team, but the maturity in Barzal's leadership is evident. So no rush to put the C on his jersey. I think Horvat does get it next, but yes, before his career is done, he'll be captaining the New York Islanders.
Mm-hmm. What do you make of this race here in the Met? It's unbelievable. You could go from missing the playoffs to finishing second in the division here in a matter of one game, and it could come down to the tail end of the season here. This is as tight as it gets, Steph.
I feel like we say this every single year. I mean, the Islanders a couple of years ago took game 82. Then a year later it took game 81, and they missed last year. But yeah, I mean, Islander fans were on the proverbial ledge, ready to jump after the loss to Montreal. And then less than 24 hours later, they're ready to go for a cup. That's the beauty of this sport, the parity in this league. I know if you look at the Pacific Division, it's a mess. It's kind of a joke. The Islanders, I think, would be first in the Pacific. So would a lot of teams in the Eastern Conference race. But this is the beauty of this team. The vibes of this team this year, the reason they've won, their identity has been about resiliency. They're one of the best teams in the league, if not the best in one-goal games. And Patrick Waugh preaches boldness, compassion, swagger, all that stuff. And that's the Islanders' identity. So if any team's equipped to, in their final 11 games, to find a way to make the playoffs and then go into the playoffs feeling good, it's this New York Islanders team. Now, their flaw is not having that elite goal scorer that a lot of teams would need to get into the playoffs. But their mindset, their mentality, I can't think of another team that's more likely to get in with that kind of mentality in this New York Islanders team.
Yeah, you mentioned Braden Shen, Stefan. How's he looked and how's he fit in since the trade deadline acquisition?
Yeah, he's a smart player. He's taken pressure off Callum Ritchie being that number 2C. He's really good in the faceoff dot. He loves to fight. He's got 6 fights this year. The Islanders had, he had 5 fights when he joined the Islanders. The Islanders had 5 total fights in the year. So I think that's a key area. I think maybe at times he struggled defensively. He's not the fastest forward for a team that likes to play a fast game, but slowly but surely, new systems. He's done a solid job. I think there's another level. He's had a ton of goal scoring chances and didn't cash in the other night. But I think he's helped this team. I think he'd do a little more for this team. That being said, this is a team effort. They're very deep down the middle. They got a ton of guys that win faceoffs, ton of guys that are physical. So I think he fits the mold, and the more games he plays, the more comfortable he'll get. And then in the playoffs, we know what kind of a difference maker he can be there.
Mm-hmm. Stefan Rosner with us on the Kevin Karius Show here on Sports 1440. How's the sick bay look with some key guys out of the lineup here? Any possibilities of some personnel returning here in the near future, Steph?
Yeah, so yesterday, Ryan Pulock and Anthony Duclair missed the game, lower body day-to-day. I'm sure it sounds like it's short-term, but Alexander Romanov is the biggest thing here. Alexander Romanov had shoulder surgery back late November, early December after he got hit by Mikko Rantanen. He was ruled out until mid-round of the playoffs. But when we talked to Matthew Darch, I asked him after the deadline, is there any update on his status? And it sounds like he could be ready for the start of the playoffs, and that is key. They brought in Carson Soucy to stabilize the back end, to take some PK minutes off Schaefer's plate, to reallocate his minutes for more 5-on-5. And Soucy's done an okay job, but last night against Columbus was his best game. I think he had 5 blocks. He was much better than he's been in the past, but he is who he is. He's not the best puck-moving defender, things like that. And he's not the big physical guy where Romanov is, where these open ice hits, things like that you want to see in the playoffs. So if Romanov is feeling good and able to come back, he'll come in for Soucy, and that's a huge addition to the lineup. Kyle Palmieri tore his ACL. I do believe he's back skating, but he won't be back till next year. Varlamov, who is coming back from 2 knee replacements that we learned about a week ago. He's not going to be back for the rest of the season, but maybe next year. So Romanov's the guy to watch if the Islanders make the playoffs in terms of returning to this lineup.
How would you say Matthew Darch has handled things in his first foray as being a general manager in the NHL since coming over from the Tampa Bay Lightning here, Stefan?
Yeah, if you ask a portion of the Islanders fan base, they want him fired after the Montreal game. And then if they win, they want him to win Jimmy here. Listen, it's been a weird year. The injuries that the Islanders have had have been big ones. They lost Horvat for a while, Romanov being gone, Kyle Palmieri being gone, and he went out and tried to get players to stabilize lineups. You look at an Andre Palat deal, they move Siplikov, they get a 3rd round back. Soucy, they move a 3rd round pick. And Palat struggled to be, a goal scorer, which he's not. And obviously Matthew Darch knows him from his time in Tampa. So I don't think Palat's been amazing for this Islanders team. Soucy struggled, but Darch is trying to get this team to the playoffs. And you could knock the moves. They're giving up the 1st round pick for Shen. A lot of Islander fans would have, and I guess me too, is, you want to hold that 1st round pick to get that score. Now, maybe that score, it doesn't sound like that score was available at this deadline, seller's market, but you give up a lot for Shen. And the whole point of getting Shen, getting Palat, Soucy was to make the playoffs, whether this is a developmental year or not, to get, a retool, whatever it is. They committed to making the playoffs. So if they miss the playoffs, it's gonna look poorly on what Darch gave up for those guys. Now, if they make the playoffs, get Schaefer, Ritchie, all those guys experience, even the vets who missed the last year, then I think it was worth it. If you miss the playoffs, I think it's not a great look. But for Darch, I think we have to talk about what he's done for the fan base in terms of opening things up, social media, marketing, getting fans in the seats for practices, selling out UBS Arena, and mentioned Kelly Cheeseman too, the new team president that came over from AIG in LA.
Yeah.
They've sold out 14 straight home games, and they'll sell out the remaining, they play 9 of 11 at home. They're already sold those games out.
Mm-hmm.
They are bringing fans and new fans too to this organization with social media and things like that. So yes, the on-ice product's been better and they're winning and hopefully they make the playoffs. But what Dart's been able to do for the fan base, taking over for Lou, you can't measure the impact it's had.
Mm-hmm. Stefan Rosner with us here on Sports 1440. One player you mentioned as far as a younger guy and a guy that they're going to build around when you mentioned Callum Ritchie here, Stefan. In his rookie season, how would you say he's come along, and he's a big body still for a young guy. He's a 200-pounder. So what do you think his ceiling is, his growth, his potential, and what have you seen so far from him?
Yeah, I think he's going through what most, not Schaefer, but what most rookies go through at the NHL level. He's looked dynamic at times, and the physicality is the biggest thing that, I asked Patrick Waugh about what he's seen from him. And they want him to be more physical. And sure, maybe it's a little bit of a confidence thing, but you have to remember a guy like Callum Rich, even Schaefer, they're not being hit against adults. They're not having to hit adults when they're playing in juniors. It's a different game when, who's going, anyone, Tom Wilson, those kinds of guys you're going up against one-on-one in battles and having to win those things. So I think that's the biggest area that he's got to improve upon. He's lethal in transition. He's a fantastic playmaker, and that's why he's playing on the goal line on the power play. I mean, the Islanders' power play has struggled for the most part of the year, and it's kind of turned a page a little bit as of late, but Richie's been the biggest reason why, being on the goal line, whether it's passing or driving the net. He has a ton of confidence there. But yeah, this guy's ceiling is, I think, a high-end second line forward, whether it's second line center or a winger, and being a top power play guy. And for the Islanders, it's massive to have those guys. You traded Brock Nelson for this kind of guy. This is what you need back. You're not going to, when you trade a Brock Nelson, you're going to lose the trade in that year for a couple of years after, because you can't replace 40 goal scorers. However, you got a guy with speed who's young, who is learning on the fly and doing a really good job staying in the lineup and playing those top 6 minutes, whether he struggles or not. The confidence hasn't wavered. So I've liked what I've seen from Richie. I think there's another level to his game. He's also just 21. Yeah. Again, he's 5 years older than Schaefer, or a couple of years older than Schaefer, but he's got a lot of time to grow, and I think you have to like the developmental path you've seen from him this year.
Does he have a little Bo Horvat in him? Do you see a little bit similarities, some little intricacies, some little things?
Yeah, I think Pajot, he's learned a lot from as well. I mean, he's a two-way guy. I think that's so important in every system now in the NHL. You can't be that one-dimensional guy anymore. I mean, you could in years past. You need to be able to play in all three zones. And yeah, I would say that I think Horvat's a great example. Minus, the face-off dot, same thing as Pajot, he's got to learn that. But yeah, responsible two-way guy who can be physical and just has the ability to score and pass. And when you have a dynamic guys like that, the future looks very bright, especially with the prospect the Islanders are building now.
Maybe just touch on the schedule. Some home games coming up, so a chance to maybe make a push in the standings, starting with Chicago here tomorrow, Stefan.
Yeah, they're not in the last 11. 9 of the last 11 games are on home ice, and the Islanders are 7-3-0 on home ice, and they've blown games to bad teams all year long. You look at the Chicago game; like this is you can't lose this one. One, you want to stay in the playoff race, but you play Dallas on Thursday. The Panthers, who I know aren't going to make the playoffs, they're always difficult. That's a game at 1:00 on Saturday. So it's game by game for the Islanders, the way everyone approaches things, but it's a huge week. Blue Jacket, there's teams that have games in hand on you, and the Islanders don't have the tiebreaker for regulation wins over anyone. This is a perfect week with, 2/3 of your games against teams out of the playoffs to find a way to get some regulation wins and maybe win those tiebreakers, or put yourself in a position where tiebreakers won't matter. But it's huge at home ice. Take advantage of the matchups. Take advantage of the crowd, who is, again, selling out and showing up at the rate that we've never seen since UBS Arena opened. So the Islanders don't make the playoffs. I'm going to put it on them because the opportunity is right ahead of them right now.
If they're in, and they're in right now, and Detroit's on the outside looking in, which team do you think is on the outside looking in? And I'm going to leave Ottawa out of the equation here. Is it Detroit in your mind? Is it the Islanders? Is it Pittsburgh? Is it Columbus? How do you see it shaking down the stretch here, Steph?
Yeah, I think it's going to be Detroit. Until Eisman's plan actually works and they're in the playoffs and then make it, I just have a hard time trusting that group. I mean, Boston too, for me, it's so neck and neck and so tight, but I do think Detroit is going to miss. I think Columbus could even finish second in the division the way they've played. I don't want to doubt Crosby and the Penguins, because every time you doubt them, they kind of find a way, right? But yeah, I think Detroit's going to be one that misses.
Stefan, as always, thanks for your input this morning. Thanks for giving us an update on the Islanders. Enjoy the stretch run. Hopefully they get in and we can talk in the playoffs as well. Thanks for coming on.
Sounds good, Kevin. Thanks so much.
That's Stefan Rosner from the Hockey News. Islanders are in right now. It is close, man. It is so tight when you look at the conference and the division. Islanders have 85 points. The Red Wings are at 84 with a game in hand. The Islanders are a point back of Pittsburgh, who's got a game in hand. They're the same amount of points as Columbus, who's got a game in hand. But you got to beat Chicago tomorrow. That's non-negotiable. Having said that, every time these teams come in loosey-goosey, nothing to play for, it's a trap game. It happens all the time, and it's going to happen to several teams down the stretch. Could you imagine the last game of the year here for the Edmonton Oilers if they need 2 points and the Vancouver Canucks come into Rogers and somehow, again, loosey-goosey? Oh, man, that would be a nightmare. That was a Puck Report brought to you by Fountain Tire. and we focus on one thing. It's your vehicle. Book your appointment today at fountaintire.com. When we come back, we'll get to some of your texts, 833-401-1440. Coming up at the top of the hour, we've got Eric Smith, Toronto Raptors play-by-play man, and also Scott Maxwell from the Daily Faceoff at 10:20. It's the Kevin Karius Show with the Duke of Delburne and Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio, presented by Sports Select. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocentre.com today.
Remember 2025? That's so last year. But seriously, St. Albert Dodge needs to clear some 2025 models off the lot to make room for new inventory. So they're having a huge clear out of all the remaining new 2025 Jeep Wrangler Saharas. The Sahara package is the best seller, so they have a great selection to choose from and priced from as low as $59,900. I don't have to tell you, these are going to go fast. So get there before they are gone. Just head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Legacy Heating and Cooling offers no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. So when you wake up to no heat, call Legacy. Call Legacy. If you need it immediately with no overtime rates. If you need it immediately and want to combo it with AC. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. No payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. It could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
This jersey was worn by the legend himself, signed and everything. You can't just wear it. I'm framing it with expressions and images.
Your prized jersey deserves better than the closet. Think Expressions and Images, your local custom framer since 91. You name it, we frame it.
What sports talk on the go?
You can listen to 1440 on the AM dial or stream us on your mobile device through apps like Radio Player, iHeart, and Stingray Music.
Edmonton sports fans,
turn to Sports 1440.
1440.
Why pay dealership prices when you can get the same quality for less? Hi, it's Lisa, and here at Ed's Auto Salvage, we've been Alberta's trusted source for used auto parts for nearly 50 years. From engines to mirrors, transmissions to tires, we've got it all at prices guaranteed to keep your wallet happy. Shop local, shop smart. Shop Ed's Auto Salvage in Westlock. Be sure to visit us online at edsautosalvage.com and get your vehicle back on the road for less.
It's happened again, and construction season is coming soon. Job delayed, money lost, and clients disappointed because your rigging failed and it wasn't inspected. Don't let this happen to you. Have your lifting slings, fittings, hoisting tools, and safety harnesses checked with Titan Supply. Titan Supply offers certified on-site and in-house rigging inspections and service, so they can repair it, replace it, and recertify it. Titan Supply in Edmonton, Grand Prairie, Red Deer, and Calgary, and at titansupply.ca. Lift, dig, haul.
Fast track your financial goals with a special rate term deposit from Vision Credit Union. For a limited time, take advantage of a great rate on 1, 3, or 5-year terms. Plus, as a Vision Credit Union member, you can earn up to 25% more on your interest through profit shares. For details, contact your branch today or visit visioncu.ca. That's visioncu.ca.
Have your sports curiosity cured with the Kevin Karius Show. This is Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program. 9:44 in Edmonton, the Kevin Karius Show with the Duke of Delburne and Josh Fenwick. The show is presented by Sports Select. It's so easy to play. We talk about the QR and the paper slips. Tonight, a little lighter, though, in the NHL. Anyway, you got the one game. So tomorrow, if you're ready to bust it out, tomorrow, I believe there's 15 games, only 15 games in the NHL. Hey, we had Sadie Lundquist on. I guess it would have been Wednesday, talking about the women's Frozen Four. Wisconsin won the women's Frozen Four on the weekend. Also yesterday around the hockey world, we're kind of piecing things together with Stefan Rosner out in the East. And Alex Ovechkin scored his 1,000th goal yesterday when you combine regular season and playoffs. I don't know if it's such a big deal. To me, I'd say either you count the goals in regular season, you count the goals in playoffs. So some guys have way more that didn't have playoff success, like a guy like Marcel Dion and some other guy, Luc Robitaille, and some other guys. Mike Gardner scored a whole whack, and then they don't have any playoff goals. Other way around, some guys don't have a lot of goals in the regular season, but for some, whatever you want to call it, in the postseason, they end up having a nice playoff run. Reggie Leach won a couple of cups in Philly. He was a good goal scorer in the regular season. Good goal scorer. It wasn't great. But then, he pumps in 19 one year in the playoffs. So there's always ways to look at it. But 1,000 is great for Ovi, good for him. And I guess he'd be, 16 back of Gretzky. But now some people think, should the WHA, should those stats be involved? And you could go on and on and on. Text 833-401-1440. Duke, we gotta talk about your buddy here that pulled the pin at curling. Like, there's got to be a fine for this.
Oh,
there has to be a fine.
He was fined all right. So yeah, so Friday night all-nighter extravaganza in Delburne. My team was myself, my buddy Brant, his wife Rebecca, who's been a friend of ours for a long time as well, and then our other buddy Braden, who still lives in Delburne, the only one of our team that still holds residence here. Lives just a couple blocks away from the curling rink, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a big benefit because that's kind of where everybody goes to crash a lot of the time for whatever reason. We're playing at 4 a.m. The game didn't actually start to probably 4:45, just because everything's running behind naturally, as you would kind of expect with something like this. And we were pretty 3 sheets past the wind.
You guys wear helmets out there?
We should have been, realistically. And in the second end, he throws his rocks. He was playing second for us. And on his second throw, he kind of slipped coming out of the hack and then recovered, but then slipped again as he was delivering the rock, stands up, falls again. And we're all having a good laugh at his expense. Here's the actual, I didn't even mention this when I was telling you this off air, Kevin. There was only 2 games scheduled at that time. The other game, which was right beside us on the middle sheet, they played 2 ends and then called the game.
What was the score? Was it
7 rip?
Oh, okay.
It was, and it's only 6 end games for this, right? For the sake of time and the fact that nobody really wants to be out there. They want to get back upstairs drinking. So they'd already quit. So we're the only game out on the ice. There's nobody's watching this. It's remaining upstairs. Nobody's even there anymore for the most part. But he gets so mad and embarrassed. He gets up and just leaves out the door, back on the other rink. And we were left to play, the 3 of us, Brant, Rebecca, and I, for the remaining 6 ends, remaining 4 ends, excuse me, scraped out a win. I was like a young
Harvey Mazinski.
No, Pfeiffer or Rock, Marcel Rock up on the front end. When I was sweeping, I was doing 2 men's work as a solo, switching sides, directional sweeping, all that. I was unstoppable, Kevin.
Okay.
I'm not sure how much it helped, but I was trying hard. I couldn't see straight, but I was trying hard. And we won and got ourselves in the A semifinal where we'd ultimately lose. Braden did come back later, but in the time in between, because I did not leave the curling rink, anybody that would listen to me, I was just torching my good friend.
Good for you. He deserves it, too.
I was just torching him. The word coward got thrown around a lot.
Yeah.
I did, however, say it might have been the TSN turning point of our match because the 3 of us rallied around the fact that one of our teammates just abandoned us and said, you know what? To hell with him. Let's win this for ourselves. And we did. It was all for naught, but we won that game anyway.
I'm trying to think, Duke. The last really good curling team. Oh, quick sidebar before I get to this.
Oh, okay.
So Saturday night, I was driving home, and I'm phoning my buddy Chopper Lopatinsky, who is in Calgary for the Worlds.
Oh, okay.
With his beautiful girl, Jill the Thrill, who works for the Alberta Curling Association. Anyway, they're there, and he's in the patch. And they've had a few pops, as you can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
So next thing you know, one thing leads to another. And guess who I start talking to on the phone in the patch? And this would have been after, I think the Canada-Japan game, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
So anyway, I end up talking for 30 seconds, 45 seconds. Kevin Cooey.
Oh, cool.
So he was in there. So I said, "Coo, when you're up, we got to go for a pop, man."
Mm-hmm.
So there's someone just passed him the phone. Said, "Karius is on the phone." Oh, let me talk to him. That's where we got to call. Whatever.
I thought you were. So my guesses are going to be one of three people.
Okay, who?
Carrie Anderson. That was going to be my first guess. Second guess is going to be Russ Howard.
Oh yeah.
And then my third guess is going to be some obscure person that you thought I would know and I don't know.
Okay. Anyway, that was great. Koo's, and he's curling really well right now.
Oh yeah.
So my question, even to our listeners, and we've got a lot of great curling fans that listen to the show. And I hung around with these guys a lot when they were in their heyday. And I'm trying to think of the last great curling team that partied, because it's like every sport, like, and some of the guys, like some of the teams, they're so focused on everything in curling on the ice that you don't have that other angle where in the Brier days, and I'm talking specifically the Brier, Olympics is a different animal because it's just different. But the Brier, the teams would go in and they'd light her up. They would light her up after. Like Randy Furby's rink, those guys were in the patch all the time. Tiger just texts in and he goes, Hunk, which is Kenny Hunka, for sure. Kenny Hunka's rink here in 99, I guess it was, when they were the Alberta rep. It's gone by the wayside. Everything's gone by the wayside when it comes to partying and things like that, where with athletics, Duke, and curling's become a real legitimate
professional sport.
Yes.
It's no longer what I think people thought it was for a long time, which is a hobby that people play and it's in the Olympics and it's no, this is a professional sport to every degree of measure.
Without question. So that's changed. But so I was trying to think, like it's Nails just texted in Kevin Martin.
That would have been my vote. And for no reason other than even at the Olympics, right? John Morrison made the famous post. I think it was mixed doubles game after they played the United States, and he put it on Instagram. He said, "Hey, this might be the Olympics, but it's still curling." And it was him and the guy from the American team sharing a beer in the locker room after the game. And also, we've talked about this, where Mark Kennedy and Ben Hebert were at Karek's wedding, where I was the bartender. And listen, they weren't exactly dancing on the table or anything, but they were still partying, having a good time.
I was with those guys, with Hebert and Johnny Moe, at Brian Mudrick's golf tournament.
Oh, yeah. This
would have been before Vancouver Olympics. So in the summer, so 2009, I guess.
Right.
I can tell you one thing, that they weren't exactly training hard for the Olympics at that tournament.
That was in their off-season part of their regimen.
But that's what makes curling so great. And even, again, I'm not, the Olympic trials are one thing. The Brier and the Scotties, totally different beasts, different animals. But they used to call it was the Heartstop Lounge back in the day at the Scotties. I don't know if they still call it that, Duke. But the women's teams would always go in for a beverage, and that was why the sport, and still is, why the sport is so great, because of the accessibility with the fans, and sitting having a beer, and you can talk about this shot, that shot, and it's way different. And I think Nails is talking about Donnie Walchuk. Yeah. And I've known Donnie Walchuk for 50 years. Donnie Walchuk could go. He could go. There's no question about that. And then, because he was with Furby, he was with Martin, and Donnie Walchuk was a whole barrel of monkey. He was fun to hang around with on the curling circuit, for sure. 833-401-1440. Coming up at the top of the hour, we'll have Eric Smith, Toronto Raptors play-by-play man. Last night, the Raptors lost in Phoenix. 120-98. They take on Utah tonight. Mark Spector will be in attendance. No, just kidding. But this is a game, on this road trip, this is a tough road trip. They started out well. It's been a couple tough games here, but Utah's got 21 wins on the year. This is a game when you're looking at how the road trip sets up, you got to win this game tonight in Utah because things are so tight as far as the standings go in the East with, there's a half game separating a few teams that are above that number 6 cut line when you look at the playoffs moving forward. And then at 10:20, we'll talk a little hockey across the league with Scott Maxwell from the Daily Faceoff. Before all that, time now for a Sports 1440 update brought to you by AWS Welding Supplies in Nisku. Product sales, servicing, calibrating, free same-day delivery of in-stock items to Leduc, to Nisku, and even South Edmonton. Your one-stop shop for all things welding. It's awswelding.ca. Here is the Duke.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Just one game on the NHL schedule tonight. Monday night prime hockey. The Rangers hosting the Senators at Madison Square Garden. Puck drop just after 5:30 Mountain Time. In the association, full slate, including the Raptors. Second half of a back-to-back in the American Southwest. They take on the Jazz for a 7 o'clock tip-off. Elsewhere, first place Pistons hosting the Lakers. OKC's in Philadelphia. Miami playing San Antonio. Houston up against the Bulls in Chicago. And the Clippers host Milwaukee in the nightcap. NCAA March Madness Women's Tournament continuing on today with a full slate of games, including number 2 Iowa up against Virginia, UConn top-seeded team playing Syracuse, USC up against South Carolina, and another number 1 seed UCLA taking on the OSU Cowboys in the evening's finale. From earlier today, reigning Offensive Player of the Year in the NFL, Jackson Smith-Njigba signed a 4-year, $168.6 million extension with the Seahawks, making him the highest-paid wide receiver in NFL history. And the Toronto Blue Jays also take care of some extensions with general manager Ross Atkins to a 5-year deal and bench manager John Schneider with a 2-year extension. Coming up in hour 4 of the Kevin Karius Show, we'll be joined by Toronto Raptors play-by-play man Eric Smith, as well as Scott Maxwell from Daily Faceoff. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, the Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Getting in on the sports action you want is as easy as playing at sportselect.com. Simply make your picks online, generate your QR code, and lock in your bet at your local Lotto Spot retailer. Then sit back, watch the game, grip your chair, and high-five anyone nearby. Every bet is 100% legal with the chance of winning cash in hand. Sports Select. When you're ready to play, bet on the original. Must be 18 plus to play. Play responsibly.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
This summer, it's coming. An unstoppable force that will turn your home into the Sweatbox.
Don't live in a summer blockbuster. Pro Solutions is your one-call solves-it-all expert for AC repairs, tune-ups, and new installations. With fast appointments and flexible financing, we'll make sure your home story has a comfortable ending. AC season is coming soon, so book today.
Lock in pre-season pricing today.
Visit prosolutionsinc.ca to schedule your service today.
Wondering what you can afford? Let Go Auto do the math with our free car loan calculator. No pressure, no awkward convos, just quick answers on your budget and payments. Bad credit? No credit? We got you. Text CHECK to 780-777-7777. That's CHECK to 780 all sevens. Find out what you qualify for and start shopping with confidence. Go Auto. Drive what you love with payments that make sense.
This hockey season, before every game, check out the pregame show with Andrew Walker on Sports 1440. It's brought to you by Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Visit titansupply.ca.
You see it? Fusion Promo Marketing can make it. Fusion makes high-quality, memorable promotional products for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. From vision to reality, get noticed and remembered. Fusion with a Z. Promomarketing.ca.
Something's happening.
something big. The Service Big Share Contest is back, where just by saving money with Service Credit Union, you could win $1 million. From now until the end of April, the more money you save with us, the more chances you have to win. The Service Big Share Contest. Isn't it time to feel good about your money? The Service Big Share Contest ends April 30th, 2026. No purchase required. For information and rules, visit service.ca/win.
Stories, guests, and insights. This is Sports 1440 and the Kevin Karius Show.
All right, welcome back to the big program. Just after 10 o'clock in Edmonton, Kevin Karius, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick with you here on Sports 1440, the final hour of the show presented by Sports Select. And again, we've got the QR codes to talk about, the possibilities there, and then the paper selection slips. All you got to do is go to sportsselect.com. You got to be 18 plus. Please play responsibly. It is the home stretch in the NHL for the Stanley Cup playoff run and playoff positioning. And can a team get in the playoffs? Just like we're talking with Stefan Rosner of the Hockey News, can the Islanders get in? Well, they got a good home stretch. It's the same thing in the NBA. Little different, though, is it, with the playoff setup and how, they have the play-in games, etc. You obviously want to be in the top six. That's what you'd like. The Toronto Raptors are right now sitting in the 5-hole, but the Hawks are coming. The Philadelphia 76ers are coming. The Orlando Magic are coming. The Miami Heat are in the mix here too. Having said that, both Orlando and Miami have lost 4 straight games. Duke's picked the Orlando Magic to be in the top 4, I believe. Not working out so far for you, Duke, but that's okay.
They're fine. They're fine.
I'm
not worried at all.
You're talking about Duke.
I'm not worried about any of this.
Oh. The one thing is that the teams that are
around them.
Yeah, but the teams that are in the top 10 in the East, they're all in already. No one's making a charge here. Right?
The gap between the 10 and 11 spots is pretty wide.
8 games or something like that.
Pretty big. Yeah.
So the Raptors are going to get it. It's just a matter of can they be in the 5 or 6 hole. I mean, the 5 hole is going to play Cleveland. 6 hole is going to play the Knicks, I would imagine. Having said that, all of a sudden, the Knicks are making a bit of a run here and pushing the Boston Celtics just a half game back of Boston. So that would be a race to watch as well. So we're going to talk a little NBA basketball now with Eric Smith, the Toronto Raptors play-by-play man. Good morning, Eric. You're with Kevin Karius. So thanks for jumping on Sports 1440 this morning. Really appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
So, hey, let's go back to last night's game, Eric. What did you see against Phoenix? Is it one of those games where just, never had it, weren't in it, move on to the next one here?
Yeah, I think that's kind of the case. Jonesy and I, Paul Jones and I, my broadcast partner, we're showing our age here a little bit, and due respect to you, I'm sure you can kind of agree and remember this as well. Remember the old long distance plans, 10-10, 220? Well, we kind of ripped off this sort of theory years ago on 10-10, 220 with an NBA schedule, and you could probably do the same thing in the NHL and other sports, but we call it 10-10, 62, where there's 10 games that no matter what you do, no matter what happens, nothing goes your way and you're losing, period. There's 10 games where everything goes your way, and it doesn't matter who the opponent is, even if it's a better opponent than you, you're winning that game and everything's going your way. It's about the middle 62 that ultimately determines your season. And do you take care of business more often than not in those 62? And I think last night, or at least I hope last night, is one of those 10 from the bad column where you chalk it up to the Raptors have been playing some solid ball of late. They went into the road trip having won 2 in a row. They beat the Bulls to kick off the road trip. They have a very good game, albeit a loss in a very difficult place against a very good opponent in Denver on Friday. playing solid basketball, and they kind of got kicked back down to earth against the Suns last night. They had Phoenix's numbers just a couple of weeks ago into Toronto, less than 2 weeks ago in Toronto, but the Suns kind of gave it back to the Raptors in a big time way last night. To me, it's about the response from Toronto tonight, albeit on the second night of a back-to-back. What do you do and how do you come out against a Utah Jazz team? And to me, that maybe determines or says more about where this team is at. And again, I say, hopefully last night was just a blip.
Well, I can tell you, Eric, those phone plans you were talking about, they didn't exist for me with the rotary phones that I was using years ago. So that's the way it is. Eric Smith with us on the Kevin Karius Show here on Sports 1440. So I guess what kind of response are you looking at? I mean, Utah's won. They got 21 wins this year. This is a game when you mark on the calendar, you go, they should be able to win. The Raptors should be able to win this one. What kind of response are you looking at for tonight?
Yeah, I think it really comes down to the start from this team and not getting in a bit of a hole. And when I say a bit, I'm not talking about 10, 12, 15, 20 points. I'm talking about even, 5, 6, 7 points. I think set the tone early, establish that you are the better team, the more dominant team. And I understand, yeah, it's in their building and it's always tough to win on the road against any opponent, yada, yada, yada. But yes, I would agree with you. This is one where you would circle it and say, this should be a Raptor victory. And you should be relatively rested considering most of your starters or all of your starters sat the fourth quarter last night. Nobody played over 30 minutes because the game got so out of hand. So that almost, to me, in many senses, wipes out the back-to-back aside from the travel component. It's not like you should have too many weary or tired bodies based on what went down last night. So it's about setting the tone early on. And I'll tell you the other thing. When I talk about how well the Raptors have been playing as a team going into last night, I think two individuals specifically, if I can single out a couple of guys, Brandon Ingram was playing lights out, and he was nowhere near himself in last night's game. Ditto for Jakob Poeltl, who almost had a 20-20 game, points and rebounds a couple of games ago, then had another huge double-double in a solid outing again, albeit in a loss on Friday against Jokic and the Nuggets. Last night in 17 minutes, 0 points and 0 rebounds, which is to me unheard of for a starting center for a 7-footer and a player of Poeltl's caliber. So I would anticipate those two guys specifically wanting and needing to help set that tone early on. And again, I would expect a much different result or much different effort from Toronto tonight.
Yeah, I'm with you, Eric. I think that's just like a one-off on this trip. And you mentioned how it started with Chicago. I think this is a one-off. I think we'll see a much better effort tonight. What's the overall health of the team here? Is it just Colin Murray-Boyle? And is he close to returning here, Eric?
I wish I had a better answer for you than I don't know. I think you kind of know as much as I do. I was hoping that he would have returned to the lineup about a week or so ago, but this thumb injury kind of continues to nag and whatnot. I know when the team was last on the floor in Toronto, I saw him practicing a couple of times before the ball game for a good 20, 30 minutes or so, but then word came down that he wasn't playing, and obviously I've yet to see him on this trip. So I don't know. I would be surprised if we were to see him tonight, and if I end up eating my words and I'm wrong, then I'll be the first to admit it, but I'd be surprised again on the second night of a back-to-back and whatnot. If you were going to bring him back, why not bring him back last night and then see how the body responds and if he's able to play tonight? You know what I mean? I don't know if you bring him back even on this trip. Perhaps the Raptors try to get him a little more rest and maybe look to get him back in the lineup when they're back at home. But that said, I don't know, maybe he's even longer beyond that. This thumb just continues to be an issue. He's tried to play through it a couple of times, and it seems like it kept getting hit again and re-aggravated. And Coach Darko was asked about a week or so ago about whether surgery was even needed or an option. And I think we're kind of past that point where they've done the rehab and they've gone too far down the path, I think, of even considering surgery. It's more just kind of rest, rehab, and trying to get that thing right, or at least right enough to be able to play through it.
When he's in, what have you thought of his play, Eric? I mean, sometimes I forget that he's just 20 years old. That's what I kind of. Sometimes I just go, man, he's just a young guy, just starting out in the league here as a rookie.
Well, it's funny. I've got a kid that's turning 17 in about 2.5 months, and I say this respectfully to my son. If Colin Murray-Boyle is only 2.5 years older than my kid, he makes my kid look like he's about 10 years older or younger. I mean, like, my son looks like he might be 12 compared to Colin Murray-Boyle, who looks like he's about 30. Like, he has definitely got a man's frame. Like, when I stand next to that guy on the floor, it's similar to, and I don't know if you ever saw him live and in person or wherever around him in any way, shape, or form, especially when the Raptors maybe come out west to Calgary, Edmonton, or Vancouver or whatnot. But OG Anunoby Now, I'm a relatively skinny guy myself, and I don't say that arrogantly. I'm just kind of a rail. But OG Anunoby's calves, I think, are bigger than my thighs. And I look at a guy like Colin Murray Boyles, and that's what I see in him too. Just the frame, the build. Like he is mature beyond his years in terms of the physicality that he brings. And to then go back to your original question about, what I've thought of him, I've been extremely impressed. Like I don't know if we're talking about a guy that's going to be a future all-NBA defensive player or anything like that, but he's definitely a guy who's going to have a long career in this league, whether it be as a starter, as a rotation guy, no matter what it is, he has a place in this league. And what that to me is what stands out, is that I'm already saying that about a rookie who hasn't even been, unfortunately, able to play a full season in his rookie year. The impact that he makes when he's on the floor, and the fact that he doesn't look out of place, he doesn't back down, he doesn't seem scared by certain opponents or by the moment itself. He seems like he's ready to gravitate to the moment and mix it up down low, and he doesn't mind getting his nose dirty and going after rebounds. He's one of those guys as well. I've used this line for years that, and again, I think this applies to all sports. There's lots of people that know their roles, but I think there are only a handful that accept their roles. It's one thing to know it, another thing to accept it. And I think right now, at least, he accepts the role. You don't need me to score. You don't need me to do a whole bunch of stuff. You just need me to go out and serve this purpose and do this. And what this is, blocking shots, rebounding, playing defense, setting screens. There are other guys around me that can do the scoring and that can do the damage. I will perform this role, and I'll do it well.
Raptors play-by-play man Eric Smith with us on the Kevin Karius Show here on Sports 1440. Well, you mentioned Brandon Ingram, Eric, in the sense that he's been so good this year, and just a bad game like everyone else had against the Suns. Just maybe give us your assessment of how you thought he's played, on the season as an entirety for this ball club.
Yeah, I think he's been fantastic. I mean, obviously the All-Star appearance speaks for itself. Second time in his career, and his first full season with the Raptors is, well, technically only season with the Raptors, and coming over last year and not obviously suiting up until this season began. He's been everything you would want from an All-Star caliber player. And again, putting last night behind you. The one thing, if I'm going to point out a little bit of a criticism or critique on him, I think at times he might get caught with the ball in his hands a little bit too long. And I don't know if it's that he's feeling like he needs to do it himself or if he's forcing the issue. But if he dribbles the ball a little bit too much, like, 3-4 dribbles, time to move the ball, time to give it up. He doesn't necessarily have to go one-on-one or go ISO against guys. But when he gets into that mid-range, when he's in his groove, I think he's been fantastic as a scorer, clearly. I think he's been a better rebounder than I anticipated. And I think the fact that he's been able to stay healthy and play more games this year with the Raptors than he ever did in his 6 years with the Pelicans, showing his durability and his health, and a shout out to the Raptors medical staff and training staff to keep him ready and to keep him healthy. I think he's been everything you would want from a player of his caliber, and providing that sort of outlet and that 1-2 punch now alongside of Scotty Barnes, let alone Quickly and Barrett. I think it brings a lot of balance to the Raptor team, and I probably can't say enough good things about Brandon Ingram.
Mm-hmm. Eric Smith with us on Sports 1440. We were talking about Chris Knobloch coaching here, and fans are on him and everything else. You got things to worry about in your own neck of the woods, but I wanted to draw the parallel here with Darko Rajakovic, and he sort of called the team out after a lackadaisical performance last night. How do you walk the line, and how do you see that? Because when you do that to a team, there's either two ways it can go. The team pushes back, or maybe you can possibly lose a couple of players. Maybe your thoughts on how Darko's handled things in that sense here, Eric, this year.
Yeah, I know you were hinting at the Leafs. I'm the wrong guy to talk to with the Leafs, so we'll leave that one alone. But clearly, yes, they've got their own issues. This is the way I kind of approach this. And listen, maybe I'm wrong, or maybe I'm naive in saying this. I'm the kind of person that, and listen, I never played at a significant level outside of high school, was never good enough for college, let alone the pros or anything else. So this is just coming from a weekend warrior type guy and a guy that's been around sports as a broadcaster. I think the better players and the best players want to be coached. I think they want to be pushed and pressed and motivated and praised and glorified. They want it all. But I think that the best players and the players that you truly want on your team and the players that you want to cheer for as a fan, those are the ones that can accept and appreciate and embrace constructive criticism.
For sure.
And I don't think that a young athlete or a professional athlete want somebody that's just screaming and yelling all the time, whether it be a coach or a parent. I think that they can respect you more when you're given a little bit of sugar and a little bit of salt, right? And I think that again, I say the best players want that. So I think over the course of a season, let alone over the course of a few seasons that Darko's been here with some of the guys, I think he has built that trust and that connection and that synergy with enough players that it buys you the freedom to call out either individuals or more so call out the team when things go sideways, and when you can actually look in the mirror and say to yourself man to man, like, yeah, he's right. Like quite honestly, I would find it very difficult to believe that any single Raptor after last night's game wouldn't be able to in a private moment say to themselves, yeah, we weren't very good tonight. We just didn't have it. And coach is right. We've got to have more attention to detail. We've got to have more effort. We've got to have more focus. We can't have lapses. There's only 10, 11 games left in the season. We've only got a 1-game lead, a half-game lead, a game-and-a-half lead over XYZ teams. We need to be better, and we need to play, as cliche as it sounds, we need to play every game like it's a playoff game, like we could be eliminated, etc. And we didn't do that last night. I'd be shocked if every single guy didn't admit that. So I think that if you're honest, and here's another, I don't know, I feel like I'm waxing poetic here on my life views, but I'm going to bring up my kid again. I've said before, you can say just about anything to anyone in life. It's a matter of how you say it and the tone in which you say it and the relationship with that person. And if you have that type of bond or connection to be able to say what you want to say, but yet still in a, even if it's direct, in respectful and a balanced way. And I think Darko has earned that.
Geez, Eric, I feel like a better person after this conversation. Hey, thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it on a game day. Just one quick one, like with being so immersed in the Raptors and everything, you get a chance to, dabble a little NCAA, watch some, and maybe have a bracket or whatever.
Well, I'll say this. I have a bracket going, and believe it or not, my Final Four is still alive, but that's not to say that the rest of my bracket isn't completely botched. I went 24-8 in the first round. So that's decent, I suppose. But I will say, and you kind of hit the nail on the head, I'm sure you agree, and listen, I kind of lived this life for a couple of years doing a talk show as well. It's extremely difficult. I mean, listen, anybody listening, I'm not trying to pretend like sports broadcasters here, like we're doctors or lawyers or whatever, or we're doing anything all that important. But trying to watch hockey and watch basketball, and watch football, and watch baseball, and watch, I don't know what else, curling, golf, soccer, and then keep your eye on college football. It's like, man, at some point you also got to realize if you've got a family, if you got kids, if you got a spouse, if you got friends, if you got you got to take a chance to breathe a couple of times. So I find it really difficult. I've started doing Blue Jays play-by-play as the sort of backup guy the last few years.
Yep.
So between the NBA and Major League Baseball and spring training, it's real hard to kind of stay completely entrenched in more than 2 or 3 sports. So I am a casual NCAA fan at best. So even though I'm a basketball guy, man, you could probably talk me under the table with your picks or your bracket, or somebody listening could. So I'm not going to try and pretend like I'm an expert on college basketball by any means.
Great stuff. Hey, Eric, really enjoyed this chat. Have a great call tonight. Hopefully the Raptors can rebound against Utah. Thanks for coming on.
All right. Thank you. Take care.
Yeah, that's Eric Smith, Toronto Raptors play-by-play man. And it was like that from Saturday Night Live, Duke, I'm a better person. I'm looking in the mirror. What was that guy's name? I can't remember now. Yeah. Oh man. Good stuff. He's a great interview, Eric Smith. When we come back, we'll talk a little hockey with Scott Maxwell from the Daily Faceoff on the Kevin Karius Show with the Duke of Delburne. Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM Radio, presented by Sports Select. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, and Instagram and Twitch.
NHL Star Sticks are back at McDonald's, and we're celebrating by going bigger.
Make that smaller, way smaller than ever before.
Collect the set and get one of 7 mini sticks with every NHL Star Sticks meal. Featuring McDavid, Matthews, Quinn Hughes, Makar, Celebrini, Reinhart, and Montembeau. So get yours while they last. 1 stick per meal purchase. Limited time at participating Canadian restaurants.
Mr. Rooter kinda speaks French.
Je m'appelle Monsieur Rooter. Je suis plombier.
Très bien, Mr. Rooter. Your name is Mr. Rooter, and you are in fact a plombier, a plumber. You are an excellent student.
Au contraire, mon frère, je suis un excellent étudiant. Also, I'm not here for a French lesson. I'm here because someone clogged up the toilets.
Ah, oui, right this way.
For a plumber who speaks your language, call Mr. Rooter.
Getting your vehicle sparkling clean doesn't have to cost a fortune. Take it into Hughes today and pay just loonies a wash.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
Edmonton's only 24-hour-a-day sports radio station can be heard anytime, anywhere. Sports 1440 is streaming on your phone, your tablet, your computer. Download an app today and listen to Sports 1440.
What's some non-Nissan drivers here?
Soul-crushing flurries today with the low of making you cry.
What Nissan drivers here?
It's looking absolutely perfect out there.
Don't fear the forecast. Get an all-wheel drive Nissan Rogue and get up to $4,500 cash purchase bonus on select new 2026 Rogue models. Built, tested, and trusted to conquer Canada's harsh winters. Visit your local Nissan dealer today or nissan.ca for details. Conditions apply.
Visit your local Edmonton and area Nissan dealer for more information.
Ah, yes, Alberta in March. Green beer and slushy roads. Where the only thing worse than the roads is trusting them. If your brakes are squealing louder than a pub on game night, or your shocks feel like they found potholes instead of a pot of gold, it's time to go to Napa Auto Parts. With over 85 locations in Alberta, Napa has the quality parts, tools, equipment, and know-how to keep your ride smooth and feeling confident. More than lucky. Visit your local store today or visit online at napacanada.com. That's Napa Know-How.
Your game, your station. Sports 1440.
And watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
All right, welcome back to the big program. 10:21 in Edmonton. The rig tech said it was Stuart Smalley. That was the guy's name from Saturday Night Live. And I feel better after that conversation with Eric Smith. I really do. Time now for the game of the day, brought to you by St. Albert Dodge, where the all-new 2026 Jeep Gladiator sport packages are here, and they are smoking hot, and they're going fast. Great selection, many colors to pick from. You got $49,900, gets you behind the wheel. Brand new Jeep Gladiator, below 50 grand, can't be, but it is. StAlbertDodge.com. Check them out as we welcome back Scott Maxwell from the Daily Face-Off. Good morning, Scott. You're with Kevin Karius. Thanks for jumping on Sports 1440 this morning. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me on again, Kevin.
Hey, I see you had your power rankings out today. You had the Oilers at 18. I don't even know how the hell they got in the top 20, Scott.
Well, I think there's still
a
decent amount to like about Edmonton. Like, that's far from what we're used to seeing from them in the past couple of years, but they're still one of the better teams in the Western Conference, albeit the West is pretty weak this year, which is why we had a pretty East-heavy top 16 in our list this week.
Yeah. You got, as usual, I mean, Colorado's been at the top pretty well all year long, right, Scott?
Yeah. I think like a couple of weeks ago, or for the last month, we've kind of seen a bit of a fluctuation between them, and Tampa and Carolina have kind of rotated into the mix. Back when Colorado was struggling a little bit more, and Carolina and Tampa had actually caught up with them in the standings. But yeah, other than that, Colorado's been smooth sailing at the top all year.
Yeah. What team maybe moved up a little bit here as we got a dozen games or so to go? What teams dropped, you think, from what you've seen?
Well, our biggest risers this week were the Flyers, who got on a little bit of a hot streak. They've won 3 in a row in 7 of their last 10. So suddenly they're back in the playoff conversation. It might be a little bit too late for them with only 13 games remaining on the season. But if there's any time to get hot, it's now. We are also had a little bit of, we bumped up Utah a little bit as well, because just they've fluctuated all year for us, really just depending on how they've been doing. I've been a big fan of them personally, especially with how well they've just played structurally, and adding Mackenzie Weegar to the fold there as well has been done nothing but improve that. So like for me personally, I'd actually consider them to be like a sleeper cup contender, especially if they get that first wild card spot and can make their way through the Pacific Division to get to the Western Conference Final. And I'd say our biggest fallers was I actually forget who we had as our biggest fall. Oh, it was Vegas, right?
Vegas,
They can't score and they haven't been able to make a save all season. So for a while, the scoring was balancing that out and keeping them in the playoff race. But now that they're not getting either, it's been tough sledding for the Golden Knights.
What do you think of Columbus here, Scott? I mean, this could, well, I mean, they were a team on Christmas Eve that were last in the Eastern Conference. Now they're in a playoff spot, and they could get the number 2 hole in the Met.
I am fully on board with this Blue Jackets team. I think, especially since they made the coaching change, like I'm a big stats guy, and a lot of the stats are highly in favor of the Blue Jackets and what they're doing. They've been driving play like one of the best teams in the league since Rick Bowness took over, and I think like they're getting a little bit more stable goaltending from both Merzlikins and Greaves, but Greaves particularly has really stepped up as a starting goalie this year. Their defense is just gelling a lot more than I would have even expected from them. I certainly had some questions there beyond like what Zach Werenski can provide offensively. And just they keep adding more forward depth over the year. Like I was already pretty impressed by it going into the season, and then to add Charlie Coyle and Miles Wood to that, what Coyle's done defensively this season has been like a game changer for them. And then Mason Marchment as just like a complimentary middle 6 winger, and then Connor Garland to top things off. Like I've always enjoyed Connor Garland's game, and I think it suits the Blue Jackets perfectly. And it's been a really good mix of just like everything going well, and they should hopefully make the playoffs.
Yeah, Scott Maxwell with us from the Daily Faceoff. You also had an article, I think it was last week, just with breakout of the year players that are sort of under the radar, if you want to call it, underrated. Maybe just touch on that and throw some names out to our listeners who you've got in that article.
I wouldn't say all of these players haven't been fully credited for their breakouts. Like they've certainly gotten some attention, but I think maybe not as much as they should. 2 Sabres were on the list, which shouldn't be a surprise with how quickly the team has turned around without really changing anything, even from last season. One of the players that was a change was Josh Stone, and he's honestly one of my personal favorite players to watch this year. Like he just, I said this last week in our power rankings. I'd almost consider it to be like a Matthew Tkachuk light trade for Buffalo, where it's not like, I wouldn't say Doan is anywhere near the level of Matthew Tkachuk, but like it's the same type of move where they traded a pure scorer in Peterka and in return got Doan, who still provides that offense, but provides it in a different way in the game through like his forecheckings play. So I think that has just allowed Buffalo to diversify their skill set. Matthias Samuelson's play on the back end for them as well has been spectacular. I think in the summer he was a buyout candidate for them, and now he's a top 4 defenseman on the team and playing like amazing defensive hockey alongside Rasmus Dahlin. They're one of the better pairings in the league as a result of that. And I think JJ Moser's another player who has gotten plenty of attention this year because of how well Tampa Bay's done despite all the injuries. But even then, just like, I don't think it can be understated that he's been one of the best defensive defensemen in the league this season. And what unlocking that alongside Darren Radish and the offense that he provides for the Lightning on the back end is like a game changer for them, with how like suddenly you have an older McDonough and Hedman who are still really good, but not in the prime of their careers. And you can almost like shelter them further down the lineup because Radish and Moser can play in a top pair role and just like provide the same thing that McDonough and Hedman did like 5 years ago during their cup runs.
Yeah. Scott Maxwell from the Daily Faceoff with us in Sports 1440. Just sticking with Buffalo, because you see him lots and stuff, but how much noise do you think this team can make in the playoffs? And I'm going to pony this. Who do you think's their starting goaltender to open up the playoffs?
I think it really depends on their first round matchup. I think, I don't see Buffalo getting past Tampa Bay. I feel like Tampa Bay is just too strong this year. Especially you bring up the goaltending. I think like the Lightning have that X factor, especially in an Eastern Conference where, all of the top teams don't really have a solidified goaltending option, and Tampa Bay just has Vasilevsky. So like that is just the great equalizer there. But like, I feel like there are some teams that I could see being a bit scarier matchups for them, like the Senators if they sneak in. I like the structured play that the Senators have, and I could see that being a foil to the Sabres' more chaotic energy that they've provided since going on their hot streak. But if they get like a team that brings a similar chaotic style like the Canadiens or the Red Wings, I could see them at the very least making the second round. As for the goaltending, your guess is as good as mine. I feel like there hasn't really they've done a very good job of balancing that 3-man tandem all year. And like I wouldn't even say there's really been too many. Well, like between Lyon and Luukkonen specifically, like there hasn't really been like a huge deciding factor between the two of them that would stand out as one or the other. You could maybe lean in favor of starting Lyon to start the playoffs just because he does have that experience from when he did it with the Panthers a few years ago. Or if you really are fully believe that like Luukkonen is the your goalie of the future, run with him, see what he's got. It really depends on how Buffalo wants to approach it.
I think so too. And I think UPL's playing better, I think, right now. I think he's playing a little bit better, but I think it's like a coin toss. It could be either one of them, UPL or Lyon. Scott Maxwell from the Daily Faceoff with us. When you look at the teams that are, and we've touched on these races out east, but what about out west? And you mentioned the Pacific Division, how bad it is. And we've talked about it daily here, Scott. A team out of this division and tack in Utah is going to get to the Final Four here. That's how that it's crazy to think that. And you can talk about the playoff system, the playoff format and everything like that. But this is an opportunity. Like for the Oilers, I'm thinking this is an opportunity that we've never seen before because they always had to get through Vancouver or they had to get through Vegas. We were juggernauts and they had tough series. The Kings they've had tough series with. But this is to say how easy this path is to get to the Final Four. They've never seen anything like this in the division.
I agree. I don't think we've ever really seen a division disparity like this. I honestly can't even think of a time where like the leader in the Pacific Division wouldn't even make the playoffs in the Western Conference. They'd be 10th. They wouldn't even be 9th. But I definitely agree with the Oilers where what this has allowed them is almost like I guess a third chance at a cup final where they certainly aren't playing at the level that we've seen from them the past 2 years when what got them to the Stanley Cup final. But I think just, what this has provided them is like a easier path to get there. And I think if you look at a lot of the teams in this bubble, like the Ducks are a talented team, but inexperienced and not the best defensively, which I think if the Oilers end up against them, that's a pretty good matchup if you've got Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. The Golden Knights just aren't getting the goaltending at all this season and can't find an answer to that. So again, that's a perfect answer for McDavid and Draisaitl. Utah, like I've said before, I do really like them as a team, but like I could still see the Oilers with their experience and that star talent maybe flipping the switch and finding that gear and overcoming that. And yeah, you look at any of the other teams in contention, like LA. I mean, we've seen the matchup before. We always know how that one goes. Even with Panarin in the fold this year, it still doesn't really feel like it's that much of a difference maker. Seattle, I haven't been a big fan of this year. I'm not surprised to see them slowly drifting out of the playoff picture, but if they make it outside of really good goaltending, there's not a lot that I like with them more than the Oilers. And the Sharks are similarly inexperienced to the Ducks, and I think have more holes than the Ducks. Yeah. So yeah, like it really is just a perfect picture set up for the Oilers where, you know, if they can make it, it's technically not a given right now.
No, exactly.
Especially with Draisaitl out for the season. But like if they can make it and get into the Pacific Division bracket side of the bracket, like I think they have just as much of a chance as any to get to the final. And then from there, maybe they're lucky enough that they're playing a beat up team from the Central Division.
They have the easiest path they've ever had. The easiest path they've ever had. And it's up to them to take advantage of it. One last one for you, Scott, just with the Maple Leafs and how they play out the string here because of that top 5 protected pick and the possibility of that, going to Boston if it's not top 5 protected.
I think the next week or two will really depend on what direction they should go, because they either have to go one way or the other, and they have to commit to it. Like either they have to just like free fall and like, because right now they're only 6 points out of 31st. Like that's not impossible to make up, but you're also playing against other teams that are losing at a similar rate to you. So if you want to ensure that you get the top 5 pick, then you want to bottom out. But if you're playing 500 hockey these next 2 weeks, you may as well try and win out and make that pick as invaluable as possible for the Bruins to take on. Because at the end of the day, it's really a tough decision as to whether you want to take this year's pick or take the pick 2 years from now, because at the end of the day, you're still going to be giving 2 of your next 3 first-round picks away to the Bruins and to the Flyers. So it really is just a matter of if you think that this year's a one-off and you can turn the team around to be a playoff team again next year, then if that's the case, go use the pick this year, and then hopefully the next 2 years you're in the playoffs, the first-round picks don't matter. But if you think this is the start of a longer retool or rebuild, then at that point it's a matter of if you care more about putting off the pick than or like kicking the can down the road as far as the problem, or just getting it over with now, have a couple of painful years and then start truly rebuilding in 2 years. I feel like they're leaning more towards the latter, especially if Brad Treliving is still at the helm. I don't entirely trust his judgment to turn around this team into a playoff team, considering his resume so far. But
you think both Tree and Berube are gone after the year?
I mean, Berube has to be as good as gone as this point. If he's blaming the goaltending after a 4-3 loss to the Hurricanes when they outplay the Leafs significantly, and the goaltending's the only reason they're in the game, then that just feels like a coach who's saving face at this point and trying to look as good as he can for the next job opportunity for him. But Treliving feels a little bit more uncertain. I personally would, but you never know, especially with the ownership changes going on in Toronto. There's a lot of uncertainty there and how that's going to play out. And that alone, and just Rogers now taking full control of the Leafs organization, we don't know how they're going to operate. And with the transition alone, that might make it a thing where they just look at Treliving and like, okay, we don't want to worry about this right now. We're going to keep him around for next year. Because we just don't want to worry about the hiring process.
Yeah. The quest for world domination continues, Scott. As always, thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it. Enjoy the stretch run in the playoffs here. Thanks a lot.
Thanks again.
Scott Maxwell from the Daily Faceoff, and our game of the day brought to you by St. Albert Dodge. All new 2026 Jeep Gladiator Sport packages are here. Under $50K gets you behind the wheel. Check them out at stalbertdodge.com. When we come back, we'll wrap up the show. It's the Kevin Karius Show with the Duke of Delburne and Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch. Brought to you by Sports Select.
At Fountain Tire, the savings come in threes. Up to 25% off select tires, a mail-in rebate of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires, and $50 off a $150 service. We're basically the BLT of savings until April 25th. Restrictions apply. Book today.
Mr. Rooter kinda speaks French. Je m'appelle Monsieur Rooter. Je suis plombier.
Très bien, Mr. Rooter. Your name is Mr. Rooter, and you are in fact a plombier. A plumber. You are an excellent student.
Au contraire, mon frère, je suis un excellent étudiant. Also, I'm not here for a French lesson. I'm here because someone clogged up the toilets.
Oui, right this way.
For a plumber who speaks your language, call Mr. Rooter.
Exciting news from St. Albert Dodge. The all-new 2026 Jeep Gladiator Sport packages have arrived. They have a great selection and a bunch of colors to choose from. And if you've checked out the Sport, you know it comes in some fun colors. Rugged capability, practical off-road features, and you can get behind the wheel for as low as $49,900. That's right. Put yourself in a brand new Jeep Gladiator Sport for less than $50,000. What more can you ask for? Time to head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Want sports talk on the go?
You can listen to 1440 on the AM dial or stream us on your mobile device through apps like Radio Player, iHeart, and Stingray Music.
Edmonton sports fans,
turn to Sports 1440.
1440.
That's 2 minutes for teeth chattering. Freezing on the sidelines again? The Kuma heated chair is a must-have for sports parents who want to cheer in total comfort. From chilly spring mornings to frosty fall evenings, you can finally be warm and comfortable for every game of the season. Shop Kuma Outdoor Gear online and choose from 4 unique models, including one you both can curl up in. Get yours today at KumaOutdoorGear.com.
Why should you drive a Subaru? How about durability, style, and an excellent customer experience from the moment you step into the showroom? And how about accolades, including awards for numerous 2026 Subaru models from both AutoTrader and JD Power? But don't just take my word for it. Take a test drive and you'll see why the Subaru name is recognized and renowned for quality. To learn more, visit Subaru.ca. Welcome to Uncommon. Welcome to Subaru.
Budget 2026 is focused on what matters, with record investments in healthcare and education and a plan to keep our economy strong. This means better access to doctors and nurses, plus 50,000 more surgeries over 3 years. It also means hiring more teachers and building or renovating more than 160 schools, all while keeping taxes low and growing the economy. Budget 2026, focused on what matters. Visit alberta.ca/budget. A message from the Government of Alberta.
Just in time for the morning skate. This is the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program. 10:43 in Edmonton. Kevin Karius, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick with you here on Sports 1440 AM radio, presented by Sports Select. So glad you're with us for the final segment on a Monday morning. Oilers will practice in about 20 minutes after a day off yesterday. You would think that most of the players would be on the ice today. We'll see how the lines look heading to Utah tomorrow in the game against the Mammoth. They've changed a lot here in the last little bit. Well, they've had a lot of injuries too, and that doesn't help. That fourth line, really, when you think about it, before Trent Frederick was injured, that fourth line was starting to create a little bit of an identity, and it's something that this team hasn't had in a long time, that fourth line with an identity in Jones, Henrique, and Trent Frederick, who's out. Should mention, we had a text earlier. What did you think of Roby Yerventi on Saturday night? His first NHL game as an Oiler. It was one of those games you kind of think it's like your sixth defenseman. If you don't really notice him, you go, that was all right. I thought he got involved a couple times along the boards. He's a bigger body. I think he's 6'2", 6'3". So, he's kind of, if he turns into what Frederick was doing on that fourth line, that's something that can move forward. Again, I still think, I really think the way that Matt Savoy was coming on here, he's got to be playing with McDavid and Hyman. Leave him there. See what can happen on this road trip when you go into Vegas following the Utah game. Leave Savoy up with McDavid and Hyman. Give him a longer spin. And Dickinson, Roslovic, and Nugent Hopkins were just doing fine what they were doing. And your third line is your two bangers and Podkolzin and Kapanen with Szymanski in the middle. So, go for a spin with these guys. See what happens. That's what I'd like to see at practice today. Speck even sent a post out a little earlier that he thinks that Tristan Jarry will start in goal tomorrow. That wouldn't surprise me at all, and that is fine. At some point, they got to find something here with him. He's got to find his game. He's got to say, you know what? I got this one tonight. They need that. Man, do they need that. And the other thing I would like to see today at practice would be, I'm sure that Connor McDavid is going to be requested by the media. He did speak, obviously, after Saturday. Normally, you don't go back-to-back on back-to-back days, but with a day off in between, I would imagine he will be requested by the media after practice, and I would imagine that he would be asked, how were your comments perceived? Because a lot of people are taking it the other way. A lot of people. Duke had it in or out. Where would you say that concern of where you took the comments? 3 out of 10? That's where I say it is. But a lot of people are saying much more. Even our Frank Saravalli, who will be on tomorrow. His line is, McDavid throws a log onto the fire raging in Edmonton. What do you make of that, Duke? Old Frank trying to stir the pot.
Oh,
too.
classic
Raging.
Frank. No, I'm just kidding.
Raging.
Like we discussed in or out, Kev, I'm kind of in the camp where I don't think it's a total zero burger. For those maybe completely dismissing it. And Speck said it when he was on with us earlier. McDavid is a player that is very conscious about what he's saying, right? Like, he doesn't spout off and then walk back something every week or every other day, right? He's a little bit more of a reserved guy. He's quite private on the personal side of things. And so when he says stuff, he's well aware of what he's saying. Now, in this specific moment, my interpretation is, as I said earlier, kind of frustration boiling over a little bit. And you see a team that runs as well oiled as the Tampa Bay Lightning do when they are at their best. And I think Saturday night, they looked about as good as they can be. Once again, maybe minus the Oliver Bjorkstrand snipe past Andrei Vasilevsky, which is, fluke that happens. But yeah. And so all of that coming to a head here for a team that continues to just run into a wall as soon as you think you're starting to get a little bit of momentum going. And that has to wear on a guy, especially when all of a sudden your running mate and the other best player on your team that helps shoulder that load for you is now over in Germany seeking medical advice. So that has to all eventually kind of come to a head, no matter how calm, cool, collected, you are, which I think is a fair thing to describe McDavid as.
I'm going to throw this one out there too. So after the Florida game where, everyone went off the handle here about how
lack of response.
The Florida game that night where, again, these guys ripped your heart out. Then they rubbed your nose in it.
Mm-hmm.
And it took you till the third period to get into the game, to invest into the game emotionally, passionately, and everything. Then after the game, the comments from Coach Knobloch weren't on the same level as pretty well everyone in town, maybe players included. So did Connor McDavid's comments after the Tampa loss, did they stem back to comments following the Florida loss?
Where, for those that missed it, Chris Knobloch essentially said he liked their game, thought they played pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
And for those of us that watched the game, you could say I think that's a fair description of the third period, but that's a third of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So does it stem from it to your question, Kev? I don't know. I'd have a hard time connecting those two rather than just consecutive losses to two teams. One of which is at a far end of the spectrum compared to the other right now in this season, Panthers compared to the Lightning.
I like your line, though, Duke. The frustration level with this team, I don't know if I've ever seen it at this stage and the team's still in a playoff spot.
Yeah.
Like, we've seen the team being frustrated as hell going back. You can talk about
the start of this season,
Woodcroft,
start of last season, the Woodcroft.
Everything.
Yeah, 100%.
So...
But this opportunity for them has been so wide open because of the poor play of their other divisional opponents, and they have done absolutely nothing to seize it. It was all over Twitter for the whole weekend. The pathetic division. Oh, another night the entire Pacific Division goes 0 for 6 essentially, and they just all are locked in neutral, spinning their tires while the rest of the league continues to win games and either further pad the lead they have on them or even leapfrog them. In some cases,
it's like a horse race sometimes, Duke. And jockeys, managers, and the horse for that matter, in a lot of races, they have a plan and they have. Sometimes a horse is known for going out quicker, harder, faster at the beginning. And sometimes a horse is more successful if he doesn't take the lead and he sees the horse that's in front of him and goes, okay, I'll just keep, I'll stick around this guy. Mm-hmm. And then at some point, the jockey goes to the whip and says, let's go.
Right.
So we haven't seen that all season long here yet.
Yeah, that's a very, very good description, Kevin. And so I guess to take this back to where it started about possible discontent with the coaching, is that to the coach then to be the jockey that pulls the crop out and says, all right, we've tried to do it the way we wanted to, but the plan is not working, so we need to try something else. It's a little tough to say that with just 12 games left in the regular season, but when you have the talent that this team does possess, and do not be mistaken, this is a very talented team. When you talk about the collection of players they have, it's further fuels back into that frustrated narrative that we've been talking about too. So I'm right there with the vast majority of people where I say I do think that the coaching can do better, can try and do more to help put this team in a better position to succeed. But at the end of the day, players have to execute. To use your own line, Kevin, like, do you think Chris Knobloch told Evan Bouchard to be 8 feet above his guy in front of the net on the rebound goal? I seriously doubt it. You have to execute.
Yeah.
Scotty Bowman back there. It doesn't matter if you're not listening or you're not putting it actually into execution on the ice.
I love when all our listeners just hang on every word. Triple C in a truck says, Duke, your tires don't spin in neutral.
Well, they could.
Happy
all right, sorry. Your tire's spinning or you're stuck in neutral. How's that?
I
Let's
know.
separate the two.
Your tires don't spin in neutral. Oh man.
Hey, it's been a rough day for
me. Well, hey, but I thought I'll be honest, I thought you'd be in worse shape. I thought you'd be in worse condition.
Last night after the Tropics game, which, as mentioned earlier, we lost, unfortunately, and I will put a lot of the blame squarely on my shoulders. I did not bring any beer to the game.
Oh, dude.
Because I've been out, and I simply didn't have it in me to stop somewhere on my way to Kinsman Arena to get a new case. But we're in there, and it's after the game, and three different guys said, "Hey, do you want one?" I just put my hand up. I was like, "No, I can't." And then naturally, my boy Tom, who had been curling down in Delburne over the weekend too, he just threw it to me. He didn't even he gassed me a couple times. I said no, so he just lobbed it across the room. What choice do I have to catch it? And then subsequently open it, and I ended up having a couple.
Attaboy, dude.
Listen,
right back on the horse.
You gotta get back on the wagon.
Right back on the horse.
Right.
Hey, before we close out here, I know you and Conman are going to be talking lots about NCAA and things. I've checked 3 or 4 sites out about and writers, the top 4 teams that are remaining as far as power rankings, the best 4 teams. One of them's got Arizona, Michigan, Duke, Houston. The other one I got has Michigan at 1, then Arizona, then Houston, then Duke.
So you're feeling pretty confident is what you're trying to lean into with me here. But hey, Kev, talking about, I can't believe you didn't even bring this up.
What?
Your pick for the Volunteers?
Oh, Tennessee, yeah.
They get through to the Sweet 16.
That's not bad, yeah.
I would say.
Number 6 seed, I think.
Yeah, that Virginia loss was the beginning of the end for me and my bracket.
She's all over.
And then it just got worse yesterday with the Gators.
Oh, I knew when that ball went, I thought I was going to text you, and I went, Duke's had a hard enough weekend.
Thank you. Because Declan and Connor did not have the same courtesy.
Oh, they blasted you right away.
Declan texted me and said, "Oh, no, Brad." Oh,
I love it. Coming up at the top of the hour, it is Fantasy Frenzy with
the former Ross Shep-Tibert,
Connor Halley, and the Duke of Delburne. 12 o'clock till 2. It's the Lowdown with Ellen Mitchell. 2 till 6. Jason Greger drives us home. We got Fox Sports all night long till 7 in the morning when we will be back with you. Before all that, time now for a Sports 1440 update. Brought to you by Sean Cunningham of Remax Real Estate. Get the home team advantage for your next move in the Edmonton area. If you are thinking about buying or selling a home, call or text Sean directly at 780-265-0165. Hey, thanks everyone for listening. Thanks for all the great texts. Thanks for the interaction. We could not do it without you. Hope you have a marvelous rest of your Monday. We're back with you tomorrow morning at 7 bells. Until then, here is the Duke.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Lone game in the NHL schedule tonight has the Senators in New York against the Rangers. Puck drop just after 5:30 from Madison Square Garden. 10 games in the association, including the Raptors' second half of a back-to-back in the Southwest. They're against the Jazz tonight, 7 o'clock tip-off from Utah. Elsewhere, Detroit hosting LA, Indiana's in Orlando, OKC taking on the Sixers, Miami hosting San Antonio, and the nightcap, Milwaukee in LA against the Clippers. NCAA March Madness women's bracket continuing today. Currently, Alabama leading Louisville 35-34. Still to come today, Notre Dame will play Ohio State. Top-seeded UConn hosting Syracuse, and other 1 seed South Carolina playing USC. Oklahoma State up against top-seeded UCLA. From earlier this morning, NFL offseason news, reigning offensive player of the year Jackson Smith-Njigba rewarded with a 4-year, $168.6 million extension. That makes him the highest paid wide receiver in NFL history. And the Toronto Blue Jays taking care of some business themselves, extending general manager Ross Atkins on a 5-year deal and bench manager John Schneider with a 2-year extension. Coming up on Sports 1440, it is Fantasy Frenzy with Hallie and Douglas. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall.